host, Big Mike. We got the fellas in the building. We have another good episode coming, talking sports. Let me introduce you to the panel. Got the mad producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building.
Out here, fresh out the gym, leg day. Let's go.
Got my man going ham. Roz is in the building.
Yeah, you already know what time it is. You don't feel pressure. You got shot in the face. Why we need to feel pressure, huh?
And I got my man. I don't know if you guys watched post game live. Shout out to Blackheart. We found him. We got him. Anthony Enoch is in the building. What's going on?
The professional smoke dodger's back.
I'm also coming off a gym day. It wasn't leg day, thank God. But yes.
Pussy, it's leg day. Every day's leg day. Let's go.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I told this dude push leg day to Thursday, man. Like,
nope.
Thursday.
Give me leg day early. I might do leg day twice this week.
Oh, you're wild.
Yeah, you must hate yourself to be doing that.
I got these 5-inch inseam shorts, kid. Got to fill them out.
Hoochie Daddy.
Yo, it's crazy.
Hoochie Daddy Summer.
I saw the Rock's Instagram. He did leg day. Oh my God, his legs are
Hoochie Daddy Summer, kid. Shout out to Hunter.
The Rock is a mutant. I don't think he's real anymore.
At 50 years old.
I gotta get my hip flexors on point, kid. I was flexible at one point in my life. Not anymore.
Wait till you have to really start chasing Jaden down on that baseball field. You go. Woo.
I mean, I'm already doing it. 7 years old. He's out here working. Shout out to him getting the game ball on Saturday during his game. 2 for 3 and didn't make a single error on like 15 plays. Let's go.
Young Derek Jeter in the making.
Mm-hmm. It's my guy.
I see the flex rods with the Pikachu cup. I see
the anime flexes.
I see the flex.
We're going ham.
We will get into that later on. But let's, we know what the number one topic in sports is this week. The NBA Finals is still chugging along at an unbelievably slow pace for me, but
I wish it was every other day and not like every 3 days.
Every 3 days. Like last week was our finals preview show. They've played a whole two games since then.
We could have easily had like tonight be game 4. Easily.
I ain't complaining. Let's stretch this out as long as possible.
No, because then it's like
what's after this?
I want exciting basketball. Like now.
Basketball. Like,
yeah, you want rested players. That equals exciting basketball. Rested players.
I mean, not really. Doesn't always mean great basketball. I just watched the Warriors punch the Celtics in the face.
So, yes, game 2, the Warriors did just that, Dylan. Punched the Celtics right in the face.
I think Draymond was literally trying to do that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Anthony, because I feel like the media is doing this thing where they're trying to make something a big deal because they don't really have anything to talk about. Because all of a sudden, I don't know when it Draymond gets crazy and stuff, but you would think he's out here punching dudes every game.
He's not.
Where every time I hear talking about the series, does Draymond need to calm it down? Is he a detriment to this series? Like, he's got 1 technical in this series. He's got I have to check. I think he only has 4.
4 in the total playoffs.
We're in the finals.
To be fair, though, they called a foul on Pritchard, and Draymond Green looked like he was about to what's that? What's the WWE like? I think it was like the spine buster. Like he was getting ready to hit him he was getting ready to gear up for a spine buster, and they called that foul on Pritchard, and I was just like, I don't know about that. I was a little suspect.
Some questionable calls.
I don't think it was like I didn't think the officiating was like bad. Like there's some calls that are like iffy, but like that's in every playoff series. And when you're in a playoff series where they're letting you be physical, like a lot of the shit's not going to get called or it's going to be weird. and they're going to match it another way. Like we went through all the fouls. It was besides, Boston only had one more foul committed than Golden State did that entire game. Only one. It was like
And I think
14
it
to
was only
15.
4 more free throws.
Yeah, it was only 4 more free throws for Golden State than for Boston. So it's like the officiating wasn't terrible. And like shout out to JJ Redick and CJ McCollum going on fucking first take and fucking
Lighting
first things
Stephen
first,
A's
lighting
ass
dudes
up.
up and being like actual like analysts.
Lighting Stephen A up.
Being actual analysts and talking about the game of basketball like in ways that we all can understand it. And like highlighting Draymond Green for being like, hey, we all know what Draymond is, who Draymond is. Like he's going to sacrifice, get that early tech, and then he's going to be able to get away with murder because they're not going to take him out of the game. Because if you take him out of the game, now the refs have taken over and taken control, and they're deciding who's in the games and who isn't. And you have to be very careful about it. And they're not going to keep calling like dumb shit. Like that Jaylen Brown and Draymond Green like scuffle in any world, that's a double tech. But since Draymond already had a technical from the beginning, you keep moving, no technical fouls. Neither one of them gets one. And that's fair officiating for understanding the circumstance in the game.
Suspend Draymond.
Oh, stop.
Welcome, James. Welcome. Glad that's your
Yeah.
first words of the
Yeah, I think you should have got the extra techie, and because that's the right call. And if you're gonna say like, oh well, we don't want to give him a tech because it results in suspension, and then like you're basically admitting that the NBA is just the WWE basically.
Yeah.
Like we're just
But Draymond won't get ejected or get that second tech unless he's actually punching dudes in the face. But they're doing the same thing for Boston. They're not going to give away these techs just because. That's why Jaylen Brown didn't get a technical on that play.
And that's sad because they definitely found a way to give Draymond Green a technical foul and got him suspended when he was facing the Cavs when they were up 3-1.
I mean,
so,
he was kicking dudes in the dick
and
exactly
like, on purpose.
I mean, regardless, just to harken back, you're now just seeing the shift.
How about this becomes about LeBron?
It's not about LeBron. I didn't mention LeBron. I'm just telling you that was a big thing where, like, Draymond Green was knocked out of that playoff game, and then it just shifted the whole entire series because the guy that you threw on LeBron James as the main defender somehow got a technical, and that opened the door to like, oh, okay, yeah, like we're gonna suspend him, but now we're talking about we don't want to suspend him because we're good. What's gonna happen to our ratings? And what's going to happen to the competitiveness of the game?
Of technical fouls you're allowed to have in like the playoffs. So
that's
like,
his fault.
Had to suspend him, and it's his fault. They had to suspend him,
and that's the same.
But that's not the point. The point is he deserves the technical. Did he not deserve the technical?
Listen, yes, exactly. He did.
And that Jaylen Brown shit, neither one of them deserved a technical.
No. I understand that this is the playoffs, right? But this is the thing, right? This isn't in the playoff. This isn't where like Luka gets attacked early in the game and then later in the game he does something lighthearted and they throw him a tech and they are not paying attention to what happened earlier and he gets thrown out of the game. This is a situation where both guys were doing something and being irate where it was warranted.
Mm-hmm.
It was warranted. Like they're pushing and shoving. We've seen technical fouls given.
Hold on, significantly less.
Yes,
I know.
So this is a situation where they're pushing and shoving. It's an altercation, and then they have to review these things. This is double tech. And then that's Draymond Green's fault for not paying attention to his emotions, just like with Kristaps Porzingis. Mike knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because Kristaps Porzingis in that one game or one playoff series that was like that, you are supposed to check your emotions at the door, bro.
That was a bad technical foul.
But Jaylen, so here's how the scenario went. Here's how the game went.
Well,
Jaylen Brown swung his leg out on the three-pointer. One, which is an offensive foul. They called that same exact foul on Derek White 2 possessions earlier.
Yeah.
So, one, why is that being called a foul to begin with? Two, they both are on the ground. Draymond tries to just like tap him and be like, my bad. Jaylen Brown takes Draymond's foot, throws it off, and then Draymond goes and gives him like a small like, hey, we ain't doing that, bro. And then Jaylen Brown stands over him. I don't think that's a technical foul at all, especially in the playoffs, because that's soft by making that a thing.
But then all the other ones that
When
happened
Draymond's
that were
screaming
just like
and telling referees to go fuck themselves and suck my dick and all that stuff, like, yeah, that's a fucking technical foul. Call that. But in that scenario itself, just let them play ball. Don't even call the foul. Let them get up and keep it moving because they're not going to fight. They're not going to fight.
But then it makes it more obvious that the NBA is now
favoring.
They're manipulating the product on the court and able to for monetary reasons.
They're enabling.
For
they're
Nielsen
enabling.
ratings.
But at least they're going to do it both ways. Mm-hmm. If they're going to enable it both ways so it's fair on both parts.
I don't know.
It's an even playing field. Like, I don't think it's right. But I like that officials are aware of circumstance because they can change the whole flow of the game.
Man.
I don't know.
I don't agree because my thing is we can't do all this clutching our pearls now and want to be by the letter of the law, but then in another sense we'll go, well, it's the playoffs now, so we're gonna let them play a little more. Like, we can't pick and choose when we're gonna let things slide. It's the playoffs.
No, but physicality and gameplay. Physicality and gameplay.
But there's nuance.
This is a dead play.
But there's nuance to that, just like there's nuance to the physicality. We're going to let some more stuff slide in the playoffs because we know guys are playing harder. So in the playoffs, then I would expect we're going to let some more things slide because the emotions are at its highest level. And we're not going to just give tees just to give tees and throw guys out just to throw guys out when, like we said, nothing was going to happen.
I feel like it's a there's a thin line between the.
Yeah. You know. And I think the situation is only a thing because Draymond had two, and they didn't want to get. He had one, and he was going to get two, and they didn't want to have a repeat of 2016 and have a or something like that. If it was 1-1, I think they both get techs because that's how they've been officiated.
But is that bad officiating? Because I think that's good officiating.
That is that's bad officiating because you're skewing the process.
No consistency.
No, the process has to be consistent, right? You can't say because then. That means that the process is flawed to begin with.
But
the process is flawed.
The problem with that is,
just like Roz is saying,
we can call, just like in football, we literally can call holding on every single play. Like, if we're going to do that, then we can call holding on every single play and we'll be here for 5 hours. We have to be able to gauge when we're going to call. There's a foul on almost every play in the NBA.
I understand what Roz is saying because if they don't keep the consistency, right, then that opens the door for guys that know that, hey, if I got a technical foul already and this is playoff basketball, they're not going to call this on me because it's playoff basketball and it's late in the game.
Correct.
So let me counter that really quick by saying they've been consistent because they've been calling the whole playoffs this same way. So they're being consistent with how they're calling techs and not ejecting guys and allowing second techs. So if we're going to ask for consistency, at least they're giving that to us. We may not agree with the process because it is a flawed process, but they're being consistent with it. We saw it in the Grizzlies series. We saw it in the Jazz series. We see it pretty much the whole Celtics run where Grant Williams could have gotten fucking 15 techs in the first two series by himself, and I think he only got like one. Like, they're being consistent with how they're calling these techs. And if that's what we're going to ask for and we're getting it, we can't complain.
So here's the thing. Like, I do prefer consistency over let's just be completely by the book because it's like how I feel about baseballs and strike zones, right? The thing that drives me crazy is like if I come in, I see umpire has a terrible strike zone, just have a terrible strike zone for the rest of the game. Like, that's fine with me. Right? Don't just go ahead because all of a sudden some guy's fodder and he's not a superstar. Now you're expanding the strike zone and all this other stuff like that. That's what I'm worried about. Because I'm worried about if we have just another guy on the team, a role player who comes in and has the same situation and he gets attacked and then he gets thrown out. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but if there comes a scenario that happens and they actually administer that technical and they get thrown out, that's my issue, because then you're doing the superstar favorable treatment. You're doing I want the ratings and everything like that, and then it becomes a farce. Then it's like, are we really playing the games? in the true spirit in which it's supposed to be played. We're
But I
not. We're
don't.
sitting
And
here and saying,
I
like,
agree with you on that. But
I
here's
agree.
how I counter it, right? You do what Jeff Van Gundy says. You go and you get your guy at the end of the bench, have him go out there and piss off Draymond, do old school basketball where you go get your ninth man, go get Anthony Mason, go fucking fight him, go get Tex and kick him out of the game.
But that's not going to happen because they know
but
today's
that's not
game.
gonna happen. But that's not gonna happen.
You could get somebody, but here's the thing: if they really want, they could get Draymond is going to flip, right? And he's good for one. You just have to make sure he gets a second. And in Boston, you piss him off and that crowd gets going, you could get him a second.
We're not going to act like Draymond is a dumbass, man, because that's a dumbass treatment. If you send a guy in here that's going to come in there that's a nobody guy or even a name guy that's not playing their game, key on that. He's going to be like, yo.
Or you just sacrifice Grant.
No, he's going to go to the ref and he's going to be like, yo, listen.
He's trying to get me on.
Yeah,
he's going to key on that.
It's that, or like you go and you sacrifice Grant Williams because Grant Williams is the guy who's going to piss you off.
But they need him. But they're not going to sacrifice. These are teams that need all their players.
There's ways to go about it, but I'm not calling Draymond a dumbass, but Draymond's still the guy who will have a first technical foul and still be screaming at a ref's face the whole rest of the game because he knows he paid the tax.
But even with that, right, with him being a hothead, his issue with refereeing is consistency.
Yeah.
That's his issue,
but they've been consistent with him. Besides that stupid flagrant 2 that shouldn't have been a flagrant 2 that got called in that Grizzlies series, they've been consistent with Draymond.
Which I don't know. The one on Peyton that broke his arm?
No, the one that Draymond put his hand out, got stuck in the jersey, and he tried to grab him before he fell.
Yeah, that was a Grizzlies game. That was a Grizzlies game.
Yeah, the Grizzlies series.
Yeah, he pulled him
that
down.
But he tried to catch him because it was incidental. He was like, "Hey, I'm trying to help you up," and he saved him from hitting his face. Like they shouldn't have called. That should have been a flagrant, but it shouldn't have been a flagrant 2.
Yeah, I thought that was a flagrant 1.
Yeah, it should have been a flagrant 2, and the only reason that was a flagrant 2 is because Draymond's history.
Correct.
And that's the problem that I've got with that. But after that, they've been incredibly consistent throughout these playoffs with doing these things. And like whether we agree with it or not, whether it's good or bad or however, at least they're giving us that consistency.
That's all I want is just a consistent product. That's it.
Because they're going to do that again. They're going to do that for Boston too. If you see that Marcus Smart has a tech early off of something stupid, and he goes and he gets fouled nasty, and he starts talking crazy, they're not going to give him a second flagrant. They're not going to sit here and eject him. They're going to let him play. They're going to let him get his shit off, go run to the other side of the court, and then come back and shoot your free throws or play defense.
And like we've seen it, like that's what I mean. Like this outrage. I don't know what world we're living where we're acting like we just woke up and started watching the NBA today. Like this has been happening in the NBA forever. Like it's human error. Like there is superstar privilege. Like Marcus Smart and Draymond can get away with that. If I see Miles Bridges running up and screaming at the referee, I'm gonna be like, whoa, that's not what you do. That's a technical. You need to calm down.
There was also a sequence.
There's no role player privileges, man.
There was a sequence last game where Grant Williams literally pushed the shit out of Jordan Poole, and then Jordan goes and gives him a forearm shiver right back. Nothing was called. It's exactly how that should be.
Like we know, like superstars get calls. Like we're not gonna sit here and act like Kobe didn't get calls and Jordan didn't get, or LeBron doesn't get calls when he bull rushes dudes out the way. Like
Giannis.
These Giannis gets calls. Like these dudes get calls. They've earned those calls.
Giannis flagrant fouls every time he drives the fucking basket. He literally is stiff arming dudes midair.
These dudes get calls. It's not consistent. Like it happens. That's human error. Like it happens. So like to sit here and act like we gotta call it the letter of the law. It doesn't matter if he has one. Of course it matters. That he's not going to get a second for that skirmish. Now, if Draymond's out here throwing people down or swinging at people, then yeah, he's going to get kicked out. Like I think everyone wants all or nothing. Like we're not going to sit here and act like Draymond's not going to get thrown out if he does some wild shit. Like if he does some wild shit, one technical or not, he's getting thrown out. But like a little dust up where they're just yelling at each other, the referees are going to have some restraint, and they're just going to be like, all right, guys. Okay, you don't want to relax now. You're out. Like,
I'm sorry, I just got
that's
PTSD. I got PTSD, man, because I feel like calls are not called the right way, and I still got PTSD from Reggie Miller pushing Jordan on that play.
that was definitely an offensive foul. That was definitely an offensive foul.
I got
Today,
PTSD
tomorrow,
from Reggie Miller
yesterday,
pushing Jordan on that
my
inbound
birthday,
play,
your birthday. That was an offensive foul, and if I was Jordan, I'd still be mad at that call. I'd
Yo,
still be mad at that
Probably
call.
still is, to be fair.
yo, I was a huge Jordan fan at that time, even though I was a huge fan of the Knicks. But bro,
It's always fuck Reggie.
yo,
It's always
it's been fuck Reggie, bro. And I was like, I can't remember the age I was. I probably was like 9 or 8 or something like that. I felt like running through the TV at that time, bro. It was so infuriating.
unbelievably if it, like that was.
But it
That
was
was
the win. If you were a Knicks fan, you were like, yeah,
that's just a horrible series to watch. Like that is just. It gets no worse than watching the Bulls and the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like that gets no worse. That's about as bad as watching the Red Sox and the Astros last year. Like I just don't care.
I hope
care.
both teams
I hope you both
lose.
lose. I don't care.
Yeah.
Neither one of
happens.
your flights leaves the airport.
I
You guys
hope
are both
you
stuck
both
there.
lose.
Can't do anything. Just minor inconvenience them.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's some talent on that Indiana Pacers team that you really can't overlook, but you have to because of your fandom, right?
Mark
Your
Jackson.
hatred.
Like Rick Smits, oh my god, bro, so nice as a 7'1" white boy, yo. It was nasty.
He was underrated, but
It was nasty.
all right.
He gave Hewan fits. Gave Hewan fits, bro. But he got him back. But he was nice. And Mark Jackson and the Davis brothers, like it was.
That was their version. They were their thugs. That was their thugs.
I don't mean to skew it too much.
They're thugs.
That was Indiana's thugs on that play. On that
Yeah,
team.
that was their Oakley and
Mason. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. All I ask for consistency. That's all.
Word.
So for those of you who watch post game live, there after the first game, our Celtics correspondents decided they were going to do a way too early Finals MVP list.
Oh my god!
And the list consisted of after game 1, Al Horford as Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown as second, and then Steph Curry as the third option.
I'll mention Steph Curry.
Well, Al Horford went 6 for 8 from 3, hit 6 threes in the fucking fourth quarter at 28 points.
But after one game, like,
that's my point, Anthony. This is you after game 1 with the Knicks, where you're saying that the Knicks are going to go to the NBA Finals. This is exactly my flashback.
Anthony,
right?
this is them saying Al Horford and Jaylen Brown are on a crash course for the Finals MVP.
That's literally their version of this. Right?
Oh god, that was such a bad take.
So after game,
I remember. I
said, you guys, Al Horford. Okay, after one game, Al Horford should be 1. I think Derek White should be 2, because he hit every timely shot you could fucking imagine and went 4 for 4 from 3, and then it would be
Derek
Steph,
White.
But everyone's like, oh, Jaylen Brown. I was like, he shot shitty that game. Don't give me that shit. But he still, like, they got back in the game because of him. But Derek White also hit every shot to keep the run going at the same time. So that's why I put more value in that. And then after game 2, I go, hey guys, how's your way too early Finals MVP list going? And they go, Steph's number 1. Steph's number 1 right now. Al Horford's off the list completely. And Jaylen Brown. And then did they add Tatum, or did they refuse to add Derek White?
No, it's still Derek White. They were just Derek White is winning the MVP. This is what I got.
No, I was the one defending Derek White because they wanted Jaylen Brown up there.
They wanted Jaylen
after he scored 17 and made like 5 for fucking 18.
Yeah.
On that shit. And I was like,
they're not that off though, because even the experts, like the Sports Center guys and everything like that, they had Al Horford as running for Finals
at number 1 after game 1, absolutely. And then he puts up 2 points. And then he puts up 2 points in game 2.
You know what?
But it's just like, I think Derek White needs to get more shine from the Celtics fans than he is. And everyone's like, oh, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, second game was terrible. He made one basket in the second half. And Derek White, he may have cooled down after having his kid, and he's not Fred VanVleet anymore in that 2019 series. But, like, he's still giving you more than what you thought you were going to get from him.
Yeah,
even if he had, I think it was like anywhere from 12 to 15 in game 2, and still on really good shooting percentages. And he's playing great defense. Like, he's still around doing everything. Celtics fans need to give Derek White a little bit more respect because he's been massive since his daughter was born. He's been absolutely big time, making great shots.
Are you saying that he's going ham?
I would say Derek White's going ham. I would. And Jason Tatum's nowhere near that Finals MVP list because he needs to stop trying to be Kobe every second he gets with everything that he's doing in his life right now. It's fucking annoying. Stop posting that text message you sent to Kobe all over the internet.
Let the Kobe disciples, man. Let them do it.
Oh my God.
Stop trying to mimic Kobe heading into press conferences and practice with the same.
Is that what it is, or is it, I think the media is pushing it more than him. I think that was just a t-shirt and shorts.
I just need.
I don't know who's pushing it, but they need to stop.
I get you're paying homage and all that stuff, but like, you need to fucking stop, and you need to sit here and worry more about the game that's on the court than try to beat somebody.
You need to worry about stop your bigs going under screens on Steph Curry because it makes no fucking sense.
He scored 27 points in game 2, but you know what his plus minus was? It was like minus 30.
Yeah,
it was literally minus 30.
Steph?
No, Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
He had 27 points, like halfway. Like he had 21 points going into the third quarter, scored another like 7 or 6, and then just didn't do anything else, and nobody helped. And it's just like, all right. But as Mike and I were saying, the only real like out of like normal thing that happened in that game was Marcus Smart was terrible. That's the only like abnormality in that series because he should have given me
to play like that.
He should have given me.
Yeah, but you don't expect 2 points from Horford either.
I mean, I have more sample sizes of Horford giving you anywhere from 2 to 5 in a game than I do with Marcus Smart giving me under 15. Like, I don't say the things I say because, like, I'm a fucking asshole. I say the things I say because I have numbers behind to, like, back shit. That's why it's like when Trey, the other Boston correspondent, told me that he thinks Jaylen Brown was going to score 20 points every single game this series. I laughed in his face. I literally laughed in his face. I was like, what? He was like, he averaged 23 points on the season. Why can't he average like 20 points a game? I was like, because he scores 45 one night and gives you 15 the next. Like, that's how he got you 23, sir. And then the second he hopped in, I was like, hey, remember when you said he was going to score 20 points this game?
He scored 17.
Like, I do everything I say because I have facts and stats behind me. As a shout out to my guy Roz here. So like the only thing that again, the only abnormality was Smart. Derek White gave us more than we thought like he could ever be giving us these like back to back 20-something point games and then goes back to earth and gives us his 12. Horford's not great.
Well, you got to give credit to the Warriors defense too. They made the proper adjustment.
And guess what? I'll give credit to the Warriors offense too because they made shots.
Mm-hmm.
They were making shots, and Boston was not.
Jordan Poole was the X factor.
Jordan Poole took these dudes swimming.
Yes, he did. He did.
Daniel Tice in a fucking blender the second he stepped on the court, and then the very next possession he crosses half court. He says, "Fuck you, Peyton Pritchard." Bang. That's why it's like you could live with Clay's 15. Remember when we were talking in the group chat? You're like, "Yo, Clay's 15 is not going to cut it." We got away with Clay scoring 11, and they won by 30. As long as everybody does what they normally do, you don't need.
And some of the role players are hitting big shots too, like Otto Porter.
Exactly.
Otto Porter.
We don't talk about him enough.
Otto Porter,
he's been having a low
8 points a game, but Wilt Chamberlain is hitting every 3-pointer he's taking. And every time he shoots, what it makes, I'm in the group chat. Chamberlain for 3. He's played great, and then Gary Payton coming in game 2.
Oh yeah, that's
awesome.
good. That's key.
Gary Payton giving us the Andre Iguodala minutes, even though Iggy played well game 1.
Ovation.
GP's been fantastic. And I hope he could get some more minutes. I'm still trying to understand how Kuminga really hasn't seen the court.
I can't understand.
In this series.
I don't know what he did to Steve Kerr to make Steve Kerr hate him so much.
I
But
mean,
Steve
I
Kerr
would take
hates
Gary
him.
Payton's defense in this, but
Kuminga can play defense.
I know
though.
Kuminga can, but like, I really just don't understand how he really hasn't seen the court, except for in garbage time. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's my one question to you, Mr. Kerr.
Man. He got to earn his keep. This is not a series of trying things out. You know, you got to put the best product on the floor.
Yo, and shout out to Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is playing a really good series.
Just like I said he would.
Wiggins is playing a really good series. If he can continue to give you 15 and play defense, we're going to have a good series. And if Draymond keeps shadowing Jaylen Brown the rest of the series like he did in game 2, we can see this series end pretty quickly.
Speaking of which, Anthony, I'll throw it to you. How are we feeling about game 3?
Warriors win.
Oh.
I don't think. I think the Warriors continue to keep the momentum from game 2. I think the Celtics
tonight.
I'll add
like when I make my predictions, yes, I can't be very particular at times. So I think the Warriors do win game 3, and then Boston will get game 4. But for game 3, I think the Warriors.
I think the Celtics will still win. Yeah, I think they'll still win.
Steal it at home?
Yeah, I mean hold down home. So I think they will win the next I think they'll win one, lose one,
and then go back to the Bay.
Yeah, and win.
Yeah. I don't think there's a world where neither of these teams don't split, but I think Boston wins game 3 just based off of the trajectory of their playoff run, where they'll win a game, they'll get punched in the mouth in another game, and then they'll punch back, and like it's just gonna keep going. Ime's a great coach. He's gonna have these adjustments ready. Hopefully, they can figure out how to play defense on the perimeter on switches, on pick and rolls, and stop dropping and letting Jordan Poole and Steph Curry just do whatever they want. But the Warriors are just going to. It's like I said before the series started. The Warriors are the best at exposing big men. Time Lord's hurt. Time Lord is not healthy, and you could tell him out there that he's just struggling to do anything but just kind of protect the rim. And they're going to try to pick him apart. Horford's a really good perimeter defender for his size and his age, so he's able to hang a little bit, but he can't stay in front of the shifty Steph Curry and Jordan Poole like that. And then Daniel Tice is not playable. I had to listen to these Boston guys tell me that they should be playing Tice more, and I'm like, he's a turnstile. He's gonna get killed. And the second he steps on the court, he gets waxed. So I'm looking if they could keep exposing the bigs and make their threes, Golden State can win. But I think Boston comes out and punches him in the mouth, and hopefully we get that Tatum and Brown together game where they both can put up 25 and be consistent.
Wait, how you feeling, Ross?
Boston's gonna. I think Boston coming back home. TD's gonna be rocking. They've been waiting to get a home game ever since this final started. I think Boston wins. I think it's still going to be a lot closer than we think. But I think Boston comes out swinging for the fences. I think it'll just be a lot of momentum, a lot of like home cooking going on. I think as well too. And I just think that like usually game 3s are kind of like that. It's like the first time the team that's on the road gets their first home game, so it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, I think Boston takes this. I still am going to stay with my Warriors in 6 for that. Going exactly what I thought it was going to go. But yeah, we'll see. I think I'm going to say Boston wins this.
I also think this is the game where we get possible Draymond ejection.
They're gonna boo the shit out of Draymond.
I think this is the game where you get
so
2 techs out of him.
Hard.
I think you get 2 techs out of him in this game because that crowd's hot, and I think they're gonna go out there and try to annoy him. I'm not saying bring in the Nick Stauskas to fucking go and push him, but I think they're gonna try to get get in his head a little bit and just rough him up, like play tough basketball. Because again, home cooking's going to be there. It's real on both sides, and they're going to play physical with him.
How much home cooking though? Boston's been relatively unspectacular at home.
So it's home cooking in the sense of, hey, we're going to let some things slide, which has been the case in every series. Every time the Nets played in Boston, the 2 games they played in Boston, Kevin Durant was getting just German suplexed around by Grant Williams. Like that. That's literally what was happening. Like it just happened. And then you go into that Bucks series in Boston. The Celtics are allowed to be a little bit more physical.
You're gonna get
and
a
then
lot of Tatum.
Yeah. And then in that Miami series, you saw Miami in what it was like that big blowout game that they had, where they were just being physical with the Celtics and nothing was getting called. Those are the things that you can get away with on your home court. And the other team's going to get called for a bunch of shit. That's how the end of the NBA works. Especially in TD.
I think it will be physical. I think Boston's going to win also.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think mainly off of, like you said, Dylan, both of these teams are really good off of losses. They both haven't lost back-to-back playoff games yet. And I don't see, especially for this game, the first finals game, I think Boston's going to be hyped up. I think it's going to be a very close game. But I think Boston will get it. And I think Golden State, because I have the Warriors in 7, I think Golden State will get game 4. But I'm with you. I don't think there's a world, especially after watching these first 2 games, where this series is anything but 2-2 after this week.
I'd be pretty surprised if it was like 3-1 or whatever it is. I'd be pretty surprised and upset.
I know if it is 3-1, whoever is down is going to be in trouble.
Yep.
Because both of these teams, well, I mean, I don't want to say Boston has the killer instinct because they surely did not kill Milwaukee and they surely did not kill Miami. So
I mean, they did both win game 6 and 7. Like, they won the games they were supposed to win in those series.
Boston let that game 6 at home get away, though.
Yes.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They have not been playing that good at home.
But they do have the blowout wins at home. They may not have this great home record. They have a great away record, but they may not have this great home record. But when it's a back-to-back home game, they're punching you in the mouth in one of those games. It's just a matter of which one.
Which game will it be?
And again, they're great at responding. They're really good at responding, and that's something I give a shit ton of credit for a rookie head coach to go in there and have your troops ready after getting your ass whooped. That's a tough thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing to do for any coach, but
let alone in the NBA Finals.
we're gonna have another rookie coach next year, and he's gonna be coaching one of the panel's teams.
I wish I was having a new coach this year. Why is Roz so lucky getting a new head coach, and I'm stuck here with Steve Trash?
You got a rookie coach, that's why.
Go back to Canada.
So, like, what else do you want when you have one? You have one.
I don't want him anymore.
Your blood clot crying.
Give me a new one. Give me a new rookie head coach.
He's on his
dog. Everybody dying, no lying.
He's on his second intern year. He'll be all right.
I'm all set.
He might get the codes to the building soon. He's working on it.
At least Darvin Ham is also putting together a really good assistant group with him too.
He came in.
Yeah, besides Sheet, he added a couple of good guys on there.
I'm not giving any opinion on anything. They're not my team. I'm gonna let Roz do his talking.
He wants to build a team around AD, right? Is that correct?
Yo, salute to the Lightning, man. They got tonight. Salute.
Yeah, salute.
Hey, Mike, it's still it's a 2-2 series.
Oh man, it's so quiet in here all of a sudden. Y'all not gonna sing and dance?
It is quiet. When the Rangers win, you know what the Rangers win.
Exactly. I'm consistent with how I celebrate my teams. I've said when my teams win, I am up in an uproar, and when my teams lose, I am low and I'm
Sit
griped out.
your
That's just
ass
how it
down.
is. Hey, but I'm not ducking and hiding. I'm the one that pointed it out. Salute to the Lightning because I know it's
And
like
this series is
a
not
few
over.
minutes.
It's 2-2.
It's not exactly. So I'm not.
2-2.
We're not worried.
I know what series is over.
What
Oh
series?
yeah, I know that too.
The Devil's season is over. It's been over for a while now.
The Rangers
That
Rangers will be
backer.
joining them. Rangers will be joining them shortly.
Mike, the series is 2-2.
They're playing back games.
Stop acting like we're
And
down
that's the Lightning.
3-0.
That's what I wanted to get because that was the Lightning's kiss of death. That was the Lightning because after Mike said you guys are gonna lose the last series, I was like, all right. Then he said, yeah, when you guys get as soon as you come in, the Lightning gonna pack you up.
Mhm.
We won 2 in a row at home, and all of a sudden
Mike's
we didn't hear it anymore.
Mike's disdain always bites him in the ass. Whenever he gets like this, it always happens to him.
Mike is worried.
There's nothing to be. Y'all was sitting here like y'all won the Stanley Cup after game 2.
You were
singing.
I feel like
the
we've been
music.
consistent in how we're celebrating every game.
Yeah. And Mike is just being consistent with his
And
hate.
all I said was,
we're gonna get packed up.
We'll see.
Yeah. Every series, when we get to the
that's it. You're gonna
if we get to the Stanley Cup, it's gonna be the team is gonna pack you up, pack you the fuck up. If we get to Stanley, they're gonna say the same thing. Mike is just praying and hoping that we don't get there every game, praying and hoping because his Jersey Devils is in Atlantic City Casino playing backgammon right now. Yeah.
Let me get 10 on black.
Exactly. God, never bet on red.
You never bet on red over
Somebody
here.
call Martin Brodeur to come down and play blackjack with us. Get his ass out of his retirement home.
I played with Marty when he first came in.
Y'all remember Marty Brodeur? Sit at the fucking old ass bingo table in Atlantic City.
Didn't hear a lick of talk about the Devils until y'all started losing.
Yeah,
That's how I know y'all in trouble.
I kept it consistent. I have definitely told you about your Devils and reminded you of where the Devils are right now and where they were when you said it the first time. The same. They're still in the same spot.
Yeah.
All the players have their favorite chair, Mike, that they watch the playoffs in.
Yeah.
Favorite chair.
Like, letting their ice skates thaw out right now.
They're over there like the guy from the Mighty Ducks, the old guy. He's like sharpening the blade. You gotta believe in yourself. Next year we're gonna do it.
Look how quickly it turned from Mike talking shit to just Mike's back against the wall.
All I know is that by the time we do next week's show, we should be the Stanley Cup Finals start on the 18th.
I just want you to acknowledge that it could possibly be that we might lose, or it's a possibility that you might be back in trouble again. I need you to acknowledge that because you keep on trying to skew it to
those are the only those are the only two outcomes.
Yeah,
either the Rangers win or the Rangers lose. Those are the only two outcomes could be.
Mike last week was like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm in trouble.
Acknowledge. That's all I want.
What do you do if the Rangers win though?
The Rangers win.
We just Mike's house all together. We honk the horn. Michael! Just like we're picking Anthony up from work.
One more bullet left in the chamber. The Avalanche.
The Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
The Avalanche that promptly packed the Oilers.
No, the Avalanche ain't no joke. The Avalanche ain't no fucking joke, man.
You should have jumped on that bandwagon while you had the chance, Anthony.
Yeah.
I can't root for them.
Anything but the Rangers. It's okay. Listen, I'm glad we protected home ice. That's what you're supposed to do.
Y'all have the home ice advantage, whatever they call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So game 5's in New York.
Home ice, as long as they leave out in Madison Square Garden with an L, then we'll be talking about
our job.
But what happens
if there's a game 7? It'd be a week from today, right?
And Michael be quiet again, just like it was after game 2. It was just seen by
what
Michael Blackman.
happens
Every single message
needs
seen by
to
Michael
rise.
Blackman. Seen by Michael Blackman.
You're in
Miles
trouble.
was
No talk.
emphatically
You're in
looking for
trouble.
Michael. He's like, Michael, Mike. And it was just seen by Mike. Seen by Mike. Seen by Mike. He wasn't even responding to nothing.
You know,
It's on
Mike,
shut.
if we get to the listen, you already know what I'm gonna do if we win the Stanley Cup championship. I'm gonna let you know if we actually get to, like what if we get to the Stanley Cup. I'm going full Loomis on you, Mike.
It's
Full Dr. Loomis. Michael, 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 what are you doing? I know you can hear me, Michael. I know. You can't stop me. You can't handle it.
Oh, shit, y'all fools for that one.
I have
Full
not
Dr. Loomis.
changed. I have not
Full-
changed my thought.
You
The
know,
Lightning
listen,
are going to win the Stanley Cup. That's
Mike, when the
that's
Rangers
what
win,
it
I need
is.
you to respond.
listen.
I'm getting tired of you
Please.
going radio silent. I'm getting real tired of this.
Just like y'all were radio, because wasn't I radio silent after game 3? I didn't say nothing. I just let it go. Oh,
Listen.
Lightning won. Y'all brought up
You
the
have
fact
to
that y'all
acknowledge
lost.
us.
All
Y'all
you
brought up the
listeners,
fact that y'all lost. I just left it alone.
Acknowledge
Because
me.
we're all rooting together, so we all deal with it together.
Took that
all
L
are
together. Yes.
listeners,
But next,
watchers.
when the Rangers win,
platform
and I'm
you are
sitting in the
on.
chat just saying, Michael, hello,
Seen by Mike.
Full
you
Dr.
need to
Loomis.
respond.
Seen by
Wait.
Mike.
I can't
Money
wait to
will be
hear
When the Rangers
all the
win,
excuses.
and I say, Michael,
the
you need
Rangers
to
lose.
respond with a gif of Yarmir Yager, or or we can't deal with this. We can't do this together.
My
I
name will be
can't
Dr.
wait.
Loomis.
I
Every
cannot
podcast,
wait.
every pod.
I swear that they need to be a hockey game.
Yo,
How
I
should
was
they
in tears. I was in tears after game 2, yo, when Ross sent the bread the bread gift.
Bread man. Shout out to the bread man. He's the reason why we got here.
Oh my god.
We finished those boys off. The bread man.
There's a nice stat. The Rangers are 2-6 on the road in the playoffs and 8-1 at home.
Yeah.
So by that theory, y'all should be going to the Cup,
Well,
Yeah.
right?
well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you
When you have
Stats
home
and
ice,
facts.
I hope
Would
so.
y'all have home ice against Denver or Colorado? Where the fuck?
I don't know. I have to
I don't
check
think
that
so.
out.
They won first.
Yeah, I have to
They
check
might be
that.
there first.
Oh, okay.
Stats and facts, Mike. Stats and facts.
Facts and stats, Michael.
But you know,
Like JBL, Michael. Michael.
But I digress. We will see because
yeah, this stuff
I
takes
can't wait.
care of itself. That's the wonderful.
It does. It does.
takes
And I'm
care
so
of-
glad that hockey is not doing like the NBA and taking 8 years between each
They're
game.
literally playing every other day.
They're playing every other day.
Well, they got to
So-
catch up. They also started their playoffs like 3 months
They
ago.
did start.
That's the worst shit of all time.
Yo,
They
the-
started their
the
playoffs
NBA
while
was
the NBA was
literally
still playing their
in
last like
round
10 games.
The NBA's already in round 2 and hockey's like next week the playoffs start. What are you
They
talking
started
about?
first. That's what's crazy. They started like 3 weeks beforehand. The NBA was literally playing their last 5 games, and there was already first round hockey going on. Here we are. The fucking NBA finals are happening, full swing, and they're just in the conference final.
Conference finals, just trying, not even at an elimination game yet. Like, hockey. So
They've done a good job of expanding the game, though. They've done everything I thought they should do, got themselves out of that shitty fucking NBC sports contract, and fucking put all their games on ESPN and getting a nice TNT crew together with fucking Biz Nasty and fucking the Great One. Like, they do a great job on that shit,
shout out to ESPN and TNT for monopolizing sports and giving us the coverage that we deserve.
Absolutely. Hockey's good. Like, it's okay. Like, we can watch hockey. All of us can watch hockey. And the sport is only going to continue to grow with fucking exposure. Baseball, take notes.
Take serious notes.
Take
Robot
notes.
Baseball
Roz,
loves having blackout games.
Roz, do you want to touch on your new head coach saying Russell Westbrook still has plenty in the tank? Or you? Because that was your coach that said that.
Well, before we do that,
God.
let's first
Give him the
address
one.
fact-
Give him the one.
Let's first address the fact that my coach is so cool under pressure. And do you know why?
Why is that, Ross?
Because this man got shot in the face before.
Wow, I was not expecting
Give it
that.
to him. He's got to have.
So, congratulations to Darvin Ham. Anything's better than Vogel. Becomes highly talented. Becomes, like highly respected
Highly regarded.
across the league. Says he can bring some toughness. You know how I feel about the Lakers in defense. Said he's
Fired the
gonna,
whole coaching staff.
like fire the whole coaching staff. He's like, listen, like I need all my fingerprints on this team. So he's really gonna have full control. There's gonna be no, looking over his shoulder like Vogel. And I hope that the Lakers learn their lesson like that. And they really give him the space for him to really like construct this team. I mean, he says Russ has something left in the tank. I believe him. Um, if he can get it out of him, he's got to be the guy. I personally think that Russell Westbrook should be traded for a ham sandwich. No pun intended. But a ham sandwich and a first round pick is not something that we should do. A ham sandwich is completely fine. But yeah, like we got to rock with Russ. He's in the last year, I believe, of his contract. And so, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. The scary part is that LeBron James, I heard, and company wanted Juwan Howard to coach. And for the life of me, I'm not sure why Juwan Howard would be the de facto number one pick for the coaching position. But I mean, maybe they know something that I don't know. But I'm glad that didn't work out. Right. Good luck in Michigan, Juwan. You're a legend in college basketball.
I think they were just looking for some toughness. It's either you go with the guy that got shot in the face, or you go with the guy that's smacking people. That's
and look, it's the obvious choice. It's the obvious choice. You go with the guy who literally, you know what I'm saying, like just survives getting like, he lets you know, like he's like bullets don't even stop me. Like, like
I'll tell you something I didn't expect out of this. I didn't expect to get he got shot in the face thing today. I had to get up and get some air. I did not expect it. I had to get up and get some air.
I mean, like I was shocked too. Like he says that, and I'm just like, well, damn. Like,
I can see Roz's face as this is being said, and Roz is like, "What's happening? What's happening here?"
He says that, and I'm just like, okay, all right. So I mean, like, he's going to look at LeBron and AD and be like, I mean,
I've been shot in the face. You got to listen.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, run the play. You know what I'm saying? Like, run the play. I think we just need, the Lakers do need some toughness. I feel like they've been kind of lazy and lackadaisical as a team on defense, and they just got to learn how to maximize what they have. I mean, the second year of his term that he's going to be coach, hopefully, and I'm pretty sure he is, it's going to be completely different. And I think that's when you're going to see like him trying to build the team in his complete image instead of just dealing with what he has now. So, gotta respect him.
Going to
give him a solid treatment.
One request. I know you're giving him all of his grace and stuff like that right now, especially with him just getting the job. But my one request from you, Ross, is with him having full control and he brings in his own guys and he administrates his own team and it falls flat on his face, give him complete all smoke that he deserves because he put this together, like you said, against LeBron, wanting all control and wanting Russell Westbrook and all these other guys. LeBron had all his hands and stuff on and stuff. I just wanted to be consistent.
Oh yeah, no. Like, there are, what I'm saying, like definitely going to be things that he has to take and be accountable for. And his hands, like I mentioned, he's trying to put his hands all throughout the roster and all throughout the decisions and rotation. So he's gonna definitely
because his assistant coach is Rasheed Wallace, bro.
Yeah, I saw
He
that
built the
too.
coaching staff ready to fight his team.
Yeah,
Him and
he's
Rasheed
literally
are gonna
building
beat
it
the
right
shit out
now.
of everybody.
He's basically telling them like, listen, man, like we're not gonna go. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you guys about running plays and
Act up and we scrapping.
Yeah, we got Rasheed run with the clipboard and be like, "What'd you say?"
Russ, you said what?
Run the play. Run the play. So I mean,
that's not gonna be good for Russ, man.
Russ will be outside of the parking lot running suicides from fucking
He's gonna be in he's gonna be in practice like the Detroit game. He's gonna be like,
but I mean, like like the Lakers have to find a way to get it right. They haven't had a coach that has been worthy of, like, it's been a long time since they've had a coach that's worthy of being there after, like, to re-up, basically. It's always been like 10-year guys in their original contracts and they're gone. And not only are they gone, you're like begging for them to leave in those like last years or two of their contract. So I don't think we had anything since Phil, honestly, to be honest. But yeah, we haven't had something worthwhile to kind of hang our hat on as a coach, as a figurehead for the Lakers since Phil. It's a long time, man.
Well, yeah, because you had D'Antoni, you had Mike Brown,
yeah,
Walden.
Ran Mike Brown out after a week.
Yeah, he was bad. Yeah, so was Pringles. Pringles.
It was a week.
It's bad.
Mike Brown's not a good head coach, Mike.
That is bad. That is bad.
And
would you be surprised if Mike Brown got ran out of Sacramento in a week?
No, because it's Sacramento.
Walton was terrible.
My thing is, I don't know why he accepted that job because it's Sacramento.
He's gonna get fired. He took a job to get fired. Like we saw him coach in these playoffs, and the 2 games that he coached, they got waxed. They got waxed.
He coached 3 games. They lost. They went 1-2.
But didn't he coach like 50. The 50-point loss?
Yeah, he was the coach of the 50.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yo, Sacramento, watch what this guy could do with the guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. He could do that same shit with fucking De'Aaron Fox
He put a complete stop on the idea of people saying that, oh, this is the Warriors. Anybody can coach that team.
Yep.
When Luke Walton outcoaches you on the Warriors, that's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Like all those guys, it's not a coincidence. All those guys that failed at the Lakers, they end up going to these terrible teams, and then it just reconfirms in everybody's mind that they were terrible, right? It was just like, hey, listen, they just got the cushy job, the awesome job they always wanted, and they just couldn't handle it. I mean, like again. It's just one of those franchises across all of sports. The Lakers is just one of those story franchises. Like contrary to Mad Dog, the Lakers are one of those story franchises in the entire world, and it's just
all
different.
Of sports. It's
in all of sports.
It's a dream job for anybody who loves basketball, whether you're a fan of the Lakers or not.
Shout out to Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond just basically told everybody, like, hey, listen, man, when you put the purple and gold on, it's a completely different energy. It's a completely different feel. Like everyone decides they thinks they can just come to the Lakers and it's the Lakers' fault that people survive there and everything like that.
Andre Drummond played in Detroit. He played in Cleveland. He played in LA. He played in Philly, and he played in Brooklyn.
Yep. So I mean, like again, like he's just saying things that people know but they don't want to hear. It's the same thing you hear about the Yankees. We know that it's different to put the pinstripes on, but everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, the Yankees," and they make baseball not fun and all this other. Yeah, just if you can't take the city, you can't take the pressure. Just don't come. Don't come.
I could tell Sacramento what they're gonna get next season. They're gonna get this.
Why anybody wants a job in fucking NBA Siberia, I'll never understand.
Just befuddled look. I see just.
Yep.
It's the Kings and it's the Magic. Why would you accept either of those coaching jobs? It's literally NBA Siberia.
If you had to choose one, which job would you take?
Orlando, at least
Orlando,
Florida.
Is warmer.
And I go to Disney World whenever I wanted to.
After each L, just go to
Sacramento. You are in California still, though.
But again, you're in Sacramento.
No, there's no state tax in Florida.
There's no state tax. Yeah, exactly.
The only bad part about Orlando is like it's just all the old white people from Connecticut just live down there. That means they all just migrate down there to the south, fucking Orlando, like these fucking seagulls trying to ditch the winter, come and hang out down there and fucking taking up all the real estate. Just go to see fucking the Orlando Magic play a courtside ticket for fucking $40 because nobody wants to go to those fucking games.
Yeah, like
with alligators crawling through the toilet and shit.
I'd rather they should bring those motherfuckers to halftime. You'll get so many people to go to your games. You watch alligators wrestle in the fucking halftime.
Yeah, man, I just
because the basketball's not good.
I
love Cole Anthony. Love Cole Anthony.
Anthony
Love
too.
Jalen Suggs. But man, they stink. They're bad. That's Siberia.
All I want from the Lakers is
upside.
get Anthony Davis healthy. You know, like
that's all everybody wants from the Lakers.
Like get Anthony Davis healthy. Russ, you know, get him to just buy into anything. Whatever role you want him to buy into, let him buy into anything. If you say, Russ, I want you to do this, I want you to play this, and he buys into it, I think if he just buys into whatever role that you define for him, it'll work out because he has just a one-track mind. He doesn't have to worry about trying to be different things at different points of the game because of his own ego. So if you can get him to do that, those are the two big things for me.
Is Melo under contract for next year?
I don't think so. I think he was on a one-year deal.
Yeah,
he was on a 1 year minimum.
Yeah, I should definitely re-sign him.
Send Melo to Dallas.
Send Melo. Nah, y'all should definitely re-sign Melo. That's a key piece off the bench.
You could definitely get somebody younger to do what he does.
Melo's gonna want more money.
Yeah,
I don't want to sign Melo for more money than we have before.
You could definitely get Melo's production out of somebody else for less.
Yeah,
and somebody who'll play more defense.
Yeah, this
well, not for less because he's on the veteran minimum, so it's not.
Or
like
for a similar contract, he's going to get more.
He wasn't making a ton of money.
Yeah, but he'll get more now.
But someone who could drop
back-to-back seasons shooting over 40% from three.
Yeah, and he could still drop 20 almost at will for a veteran's minimum.
They're giving $90 million to guys who shoot over 40%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where are you going to find that kind of production for that kind of price?
Yeah, you're not going to find it.
Yeah, you're not going to find that.
Yeah, because he's going to want more money next year.
Exactly.
So you're acting like he's going to want $10 million.
Yeah, he's not going to want no big max contract.
He might get $10 million though.
We have salary cap.
Nobody's giving no.
Yeah, salary cap implications.
Don't be surprised if Melo were to get like.
No. Don't be surprised, Mike. I wouldn't be surprised if the team gave him 10.
Yeah, we have salary cap implications. The Lakers have too much money tied up in like a few players. It's going to be.
Y'all still have to extend LeBron too. It was like 2 years, $90 million, something like that. Like
whether that happens or not, they'll have the money.
Do we? I mean, listen, like I'm completely fine. Like people just like asking me earlier, like, how do you feel about LeBron? Like basically naming everyone on the Warriors and saying that he wants to play with them. I'm just like, great. Just ride their coattails, go in the sunset, be like that person, and just jump over there. Like I don't mind. Like that's LeBron's whole career. Like I don't care about that. Like free up the money. And then we'll go ahead and just pull the Band-Aid off. Like, nothing would make me happier if they just traded him. If it's the Warriors, let's just raid their entire cupboard. And he can get his one or two championships that he has left in him, I think. And then, let him, finally either match Mike or get close. And then, hey, let him build his legacy. I want what's best for the Lakers, I don't think what's best for the Lakers. No, I don't think. I honestly think in the long term, what's best for the Lakers. I just don't think a 42-year-old LeBron James signing another 4-year career at the end of that is worth it. I don't think it's worth it. He signs another 3-year deal. Like I don't think it's worth it. At this point, we're just looking at him playing virtually no defense. Looking at him turn over the ball at minimum 5 to 6 times a game, and yet
still be the best player on your team, and would have been All NBA first team had he not got hurt.
Yeah, but then he's going to get hurt. So all three of those things together.
Mike, you can't sit here and act like LeBron's not getting older and getting hurt now.
He is getting older, but let's not act. Roz is acting
he's also
like
30 years old.
Get rid of him. We have no use for him. How do you not have use for a all second team player?
Let me be
that
clear.
doesn't make any sense.
Let me be clear.
I want what's best for the Lakers. Get rid of our best player. That doesn't make any sense.
No, let me be clear on this. Let's treat LeBron James like every other aging person and just be happy that he's doing better than what the average aging player at his age is doing. But when it comes to salary cap implications, reallocation of resources, guess what? I don't think it makes sense to give him over $48 million a year as the cap goes up, as the TV deals kick in, for him to just do the same thing that he's doing for the next possible 1 or 2 years, and then you're just basically having an albatross contract for the last 2 years. I don't believe that
he's underperforming to what he's being paid.
No, I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense that LeBron James needs to get a 4-year deal, right? And you're going to get half of that. And you're going to get half of that if you're lucky.
I also don't think LeBron would sign a 4-year deal.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what you're talking
about.
I
think LeBron would just do 1-on-1s.
LeBron is doing 1-on-1s for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he's doing 1-on-1s. Yeah,
I think he would do 1-on-1s because Bronny's supposed to be coming out soon, so he's going to do 1-on-1s until he's out.
But the 2-year would be basically 1-on-1.
He's going to do a 2-year
deal. He's got this year
and a player option.
And a player option. So
I think he still wants to do the whole play with my son thing.
No, he does.
You're telling me if LeBron plays like he played last year, this year, and next year, you wouldn't want to give him another 1-on-1? He's not.
Yeah, but last year was unprecedented. So now you're saying for the rest of his career.
But I'm asking you if he can. I'm asking you if he literally just does what he did this year, but you wouldn't re-sign it.
If I'm a betting man, I'm not expecting him to do it. I'd like for him.
So
to
you
do
think
it.
he's going to fall? So
So
what are you expecting? Like, you think he's going to fall off the cliff and he's going to be like Melo, or
I think he's.
So you think he's going to regress to like Melo? Because him
no,
regressing right now is still 25-3.
But that's not worth.
You understand that, right?
$48 million a year, in my opinion.
I mean, if you go based off of contract.
It's not worth.
And guys who are averaging that's kind of what guys are getting to average.
No, they're not getting $48 million for 25, 5, and 3.
LeBron is going to be doing what James Harden is doing right now, and James Harden is going to be making $40 million. Whether we all think it makes sense or not, he's going to be making $40 million. So you're telling me you wouldn't give LeBron $40 million?
But I don't think James Harden deserves that, if that's what you want to ask me. But James Harden, right, is also not. I mean, like when you tally up his stats, I'm pretty sure it's not 25, 5, and 3.
It's less,
right?
Yeah, it's less.
It's less.
Like he got that money from before, though, and then now they're thinking about giving him new money, and I don't think that he's worth
to
that.
Average 18.
He's not worth that money. Like
50 million a year.
These guys that are coming up for these contracts, like Harden and LeBron. Like LeBron has a better stake claim for getting that money now.
What about Bradley Beal?
4 years, but Bradley Bill's averaging. Listen, Bradley Bill.
I think he's like 23.
He's averaging like 25, isn't he?
No, Bradley
23.
Bill,
it's like 23 and a half.
Bradley Bill and his projections, though, that's completely different. Though we're talking about a difference in age. We're talking about him finally, like Bradley Beal. Like here's I'm gonna tell you this right now. Harden, I don't think is capable of giving you 50 points. He's not. I think based upon what we saw this year, he's not.
I'd agree.
He doesn't deserve that contract.
Anthony,
right?
Do you think he can score 50?
Right?
Because you've been Harden's biggest cheerleader. Do you think he can score 50?
Nah, hell no.
The blue, white, and red pom-poms down.
Bradley Beal can.
I barely have faith in him giving me 30, man. Like, shit.
Bradley Beal can. LeBron can, but the difference is LeBron's out for the next 3 games after doing that. Like he was.
If the rest of your team, your young guys are healthy, you can afford.
In LeBron's defense, I mean, AD was
if
just
Anthony
a walking
Davis
class.
Can be a 28-year-old who's like healthy, then you could afford to have LeBron out.
LeBron had to carry more weight this past
season. But the thing about it is, like, in that same scenario, Bradley Beal's playing the next game. That's the difference.
I mean, Bradley Beal also has an extensive injury history.
Yeah, you're acting like LeBron was load managed. Like he played on Tuesday, then he didn't play again until Sunday, then he played again on Wednesday. Like the bulk of his games that he missed were in chunks because he got hurt. It wasn't like he was playing every other day like they were doing with Melo or like they were doing with other play. Like he missed his games in chunks. Like you're talking like LeBron is like, I'm gonna play today, then I'm not gonna play for a few days, then I'm gonna play, then I'm not gonna play. All his missed games were in chunks because
didn't Braun have
he
that
got
stretch
hurt.
where he had like 40 plus like 3 games in a row or some shit like that this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I acknowledge that he can score, like he still has the ability to score. But my point is this: you can't have a 38-year-old guy, a 39, 48-year-old, 40-year-old guy losing chunks of the season, not playing defense, and then also, you know what I'm saying, like having to just like get injured, like you can't do that. Like with Anthony Davis there, you know that they have a problem. Both of them having a problem at the same time is an unmitigated disaster. So if you're the Lakers and you say we have two guys that have a trouble staying on the court the last 2 years, when they're on the court they're dynamic. One of the other guys is older, much older in age, and on top of that, he's probably not going to commit past a few years. Like you take the fact that he's not going to commit to you past few years, and you're saying like, if I have to take him, then you know what, I'm in a good place because he doesn't want to be here that much anyway, right? You know, but then you're saying to yourself, if he comes into him and says, you know what, I'm ready to make the commitment for 4 years. If you're the Lakers and you don't sit down and say, I'm not sure about that.
Well, if you're the Lakers, you sit down and you say no.
You say no. Like
if
I'm
Lakers,
not.
if you're the Lakers, you say no.
40-year-old LeBron goes, I want a 4-year contract. I'm gonna say thank you for your service. Like,
but what if he's still balling though?
40-year-old LeBron saying that, I'm still saying no.
But what if he's still giving you 25 a game?
He's 40.
I would tell him. I would take him. If he's doing that at 40, I'm gonna be like, that's a bad man. Can we do 2?
Can we do a one-on-one?
Can we
do
do
a
one?
one-on-one?
2?
Like, we do one in
yeah,
the
can we do a one-on-one?
One in the team option.
But that's literally what we said, right? He's just doing. He's gonna do one.
The rest of LeBron's career, if he's doing anything but one-on-ones, I'd be very surprised. Because wasn't that his whole Cleveland run?
The only thing I was
doing that for financial reasons. He wasn't doing that for any other reason we're talking about right now.
Well, then he had the ability to opt out and go to LA. He had the freedom.
But he did that. He did that for a different reason. I'm talking about a 38-year-old LeBron James right now, who doesn't seem like he cares about whether he wants to end his career as a Laker. He wants to go somewhere to play with his son, or he wants to play with guys from the Warriors. He's injured, but in chunks, like Mike said. He doesn't play any defense, it seems like, at all. Like it's like really bad. And he also turns the ball over like 5 to 7 times a game. Like whatever he's scoring, right? You're talking about possibly like giving up close to 10 points on fast break that he can't get back on because he'd rather cherry pick. And now you're basically wiping half of his scoring averages. Like you're taking away 10 to 12 points of a differential from what he's doing. So then what's the point?
The way you're making it sound, Rise, LeBron was terrible last year.
No, he was not terrible.
That's the way you're making. That is literally the argument
you are making it sound like he was fucking terrible.
You're making it seem like he was terrible.
He did average like 30 a game.
I'm not saying that he's terrible. Is that the point? See, if you just focus on the points, sometimes then you miss out on the whole picture, right?
No, but I see what Raz is saying, though.
I get what he's saying.
You're missing out on the whole picture. LeBron James is not the LeBron James. I've been saying this for a long time, and now we finally come to the conclusion where we can agree on this. He's not the LeBron James, right, that he was when he was on Cleveland, Miami. He's not. That's fine. That's natural progression. He's just not going to be that way, right? And that's why would you expect him to be that way, Roz? Because we were told that he was going to be that way. Because he's getting paid like he was going to be that way. Because he's the one that's telling everyone, I don't get enough respect and I'm doing all the stuff like that. So I'm like, fine. Then what we're going to do is, if you're going to say here that I am just as good as I was before, then take the reins, right? AD is out, right? You won that series. You went on that title run. You did all that stuff like that. You got to the finals when you beat Boston and all that stuff by yourself, and J.R. Smith was your next second best option on that team, and then Kevin Love was there, doing whatever he was doing. So listen, man, like, do it. He couldn't do it. And I was like, see, that's what I'm saying. He can't do it. That's no shot at him, right? Like it was taken. It was just it was just reality. He's an older guy. You just expect him to put in what he can, give him the assist, and then you say, AD, lock down the paint, be the unicorn that you are, and then we can get some guys around us that can shoot and utilize LeBron's facilitation. It didn't happen. Guys weren't making shots. Russ is running around like a chick with his head cut off. LeBron's missing chunks of games. AD is literally
Anthony Davis is being a unicorn because he doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist. Like if he's not in a rap video or he's not being seen down Sunset Boulevard in the next best thing in fashion, he's not on the court. Like his jersey seen. His 2021 2022 jersey must be like fresh out of the damn box. Like he was not. So if the roster's built like this now, if you're Darvin Ham, how could you go to bat and say, "Oh, listen, I need LeBron James here for the next 2 to 3 years"? If I'm Darvin Ham, I'm saying I need you for this first year I'm in here, establish the culture, do what you can, weather the storm, and guess what, big fella? We'll get you to where you need to go because we'll take care of you. Wherever you want to go in the next few years, we'll trade you, we'll make it happen. No hard feelings. We appreciate you. No, I do not want LeBron James to be a Laker for life. There's no way. Not with him, and I respect him. He's a businessman. He's a billionaire. He's not going to want to take less than what he can maximize. You imagine LeBron James coming out here I'll take 10 million in my final years. He'll take 10 million if he's worth 10 million. He's not going to take no hometown discount anywhere. He never has. When has he ever?
Didn't he take a discount to play in Miami?
He did.
A little
bit.
They
all did.
Barely.
The cap was different.
Barely, because
the cap was different then.
Barely.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. It's really not that.
It's not that far off. They all literally. I think Wade took the most.
Yes,
because I think the max contract then was like 25 mil. And I think Wade made like 18 and a half.
I'll give LeBron Tom Brady treatment. Tom Brady wasn't taking those discounts, man. He was getting paid back door by TB12, and he was still getting
and by Kraft mac and cheese.
And then he
was getting paid by Kraft.
I'm done. Lakers ran over. It's Darvin Ham, new life, new blood. Let's go Lakers, man.
Bully ball Lakers. Let's go.
Let's go. AD needs to be healthy, man.
That man needs to be healthy.
All right. Well, I would love to sit here and keep arguing with you, but I don't.
We sound like ESPN now because LeBron has been out for how many months now? We keep bringing him up.
Here we are.
He's on the Lakers. He's on the Lakers. I brought up other people too. He's on the Lakers.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Before lightning win. Baseball. Interesting week in baseball. How you guys feel? You want to go serious first, or we want to?
Well, we have to start off with.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Well, we have to start off by congratulating the Reds on their victory today over the Diamondbacks. We have our rookie sensation, Hunter Green.
Rookie sensation?
Yes.
Yeah, Hunter Green's filthy.
He's good.
Yeah, he's nice.
We're not going to sit here and let Anthony have this. Shout out to the best team in baseball, the New York Yankees.
We're not
going to. Anthony, you guys blew them out. Good shit. The Yankees are the best. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. You can't tell me shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't need your stats about how fucking Mike Trout analytically is a fucking fantastic baseball player. Fuck him. Aaron Judge. Get paid what you want, big fella.
I'm sorry. Hold on. That game we won was yesterday. We're actually destroying them again today.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You guys are destroying them. I saw the score.
Yes.
Have you also seen the Yankees score too?
I will give you your flowers, Anthony. Shout out to the Reds for now having the third worst record in baseball. Shout out to the Reds because little did we know that Kansas City was just god awful. I mean, Kansas City is god awful.
Well, who else is bad? Who else other team?
Oakland, but they're literally 1 percentage point better than Oakland. So it's
a shame what they did to Oakland, man. It's a shame.
It's a good sports. It's a good sports town, and
Did you
Warriors
see
got
that
took
that
from
lady
them. And
playing the national anthem on a saw in Oakland?
No.
no,
It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. She had a legitimate like saw, like cutting wood saw, and she had like a bow, and she was playing the national anthem on a saw, and it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
I
So
take it
yeah,
back. Oakland
Oakland's
gets what
terrible. They get exactly what they deserve.
Yeah, what the
they
management did
deserve.
to Oakland was rough, man.
That's what we call white people shit. Playing a saw as a musical instrument.
Moneyball has to end over there, man. They have to let go of that because they're
Well, they also
destroying
get
the
rid of all their best players the second they're fucking like really good.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay them, and that's the problem. Like that, they have to, like they have to stop that, or like have Manfred come in and give the team somewhere else or do something. He has to do something because what's happening down there is they're basically
Criminal.
they're just like, we're going to be as low as possible. We're going to have the worst team as possible. We're going to collect luxury tax money. We're not going to use it towards the players. It's like almost a case study.
We're
and
not going to use it towards the stadium.
Yeah, it's like how does Major League Baseball look at this case study and after they went through what they consider to be a hellacious negotiation process for the CBA and say, well, this is fine, like everything's good. It goes against every single thing that both sides was talking about and fighting for and compromise for the CBA. There's no reallocation of money for the players because as soon as they come up for any type of, like anytime they get out of arbitration, they're gone. So they're just manipulating them, and then on top of that, they're just using their arb years. And then you're talking about no type of investment in the stadium. It's not genuine. They got to get rid of him. They got to do something. Like I don't know, man. Like
they're just waiting for the next Jose Canseco.
Yeah, and then it's like, are you going to pay him? Maybe.
Nope.
I don't know. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Bring up a guy, he's electric. You keep him for 10 years before he hits arbitration. Keep setting him down so he doesn't fulfill his 180 days on the fucking active MLB roster. Send him back down a couple times. It's literally what they did with fucking literally everybody won. And they did it with Judge his first like couple years too.
Mm-hmm.
And now Judge is finally able to be paid, and it's just like, well, I'm 30. Like,
and now the teams are like, well, you're 30, so no.
But that's always been the contentious thing, and not only this past CBA but previous CBAs that the league will not budge on, which is the manipulation of like the arbitration years, especially when you have superstar athletes, because it was a big thing where the lower teams were like, we pick high, so we're going to get the best players and the best talent, and we just can't afford to keep them. So this is our way of keeping the talent in house for as long as we can
by paying them $40,000 a year to be in
for parity,
Hartford.
Right? For parity, right? So like, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, but shout out to the Yankees. Shout out to the Yankees. Like best team in baseball. Like their pitching has, like I was saying, like, Cashman bet, and like Eddie betting, man, it can go either way. He bet on the upside that if these guys can stay healthy, this is what you will have as a pitching staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like fragile guys that have a history of injuries that, you're like, hey, listen, if you can just stay healthy, we have one of the best rotations in baseball, if arguably not, like depending on who you talk to, the best, but I think it's one of the best. And it makes the margin of error for their hitting that they had an issue with. And they still kind of have those residual issues this year, even though they're winning with runners in scoring position, but it just gives them a better window, right? Because, that's what they need in the playoffs, man. The Yankees always lacked a rotation for the playoffs that didn't require them to burn their bullpen. And I know it's a bullpen game. This game has been shortened, et cetera. But like when you're trying to choose between handing the ball off to like Chad Green, or if you can get another inning out of Garrett Cole, you would go with Garrett Cole and then hand it off to your setup guy, and then boom, whoever that is. Like Clay Holmes and Aroldis Chapman, that's amazing. I would love to have Aroldis Chapman not be the guy who gives up the home run to Altuve or whoever it is.
Every time.
Sick of seeing
it's clockwork.
I'm sick
Every
of seeing
time
that.
Altuve faces Chapman, he's sending it center field.
I'm sick of seeing that. I'm so sick of seeing that. And so, like, the Yankees are like they're just mashing, man. Gleyber Torres is mashing again. That's a huge thing. Donaldson is actually better than Gio this year defensively.
Yeah, 30-something years old, making a ton of money. He's playing well.
Like
Joey Gallo can go fuck off, but it is what it is. He's terrible. We saw him live at the Yankee game against the Orioles a couple weeks ago, and all he did was stretch his hips out and then not get hits.
DJ's back.
How does Gallo have a spot in the fucking starting lineup, but fucking Andujar's over here trying to get traded because he's playing better than the majority of our players and can't get into the fucking lineup?
Andujar is so much better than him.
And Hicks. Get Aaron Hicks the fuck out of here, Michael. That's your boy.
Yeah, both of them are
your boy.
He's hitting better than Gallo.
They both stink.
Like what? Like what does that even mean? Like that's like just a.
The only reason he's hitting better than Gallo is because Gallo's played more games.
Gallo's terrible, and so is.
I must admit, those two guys are starting to prove me a little bit wrong, right, Mike? But I think it's only when I see them live, they just play terrible, and that rotation with Gleyber and then Andujar right after each other. You guys seen? I called it just like you called Joey Gallo that game, and they played like trash. But they've been showing me up lately, and I give them.
But Andujar that game got a couple hits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
About like 270.
Yeah, he's playing fine. Like get him out there. Like you can afford to sit Aaron Hicks. It's not like he's fucking a world beater. He stinks. And Gallo, you can only really play Gallo at home every other home game because a pop up in right field could be a home run if he could get fucking contact. He's not striking out. Like,
do you play Gallo over Higgy?
Well,
you have to play. You have to play Higgy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you have to play Higgy.
I don't like Higgy either.
Higgy's pretty bad right now too. I think if Roosevelt was not injured, Higgy would probably not be on the team right now.
Higgy is also a Mike guy. Mike loves him some Higgy.
I do like Higgy because he got cracking fuck up out of here.
Higgy, you know what Higgy is? Higgy is that one guy the Yankees always hold on that we know is bad, but he's a coach favorite.
He's literally only there because he's Garrett Cole's personal catcher.
Like Scott Proctor and like all these guys that like these managers just like
name out of the hat right there.
That are bad, that are actually bad, and they run them into the ground and they just keep giving it to us for us to see and just watch them just be black holes like over and over and over again, whether it's a pitcher, a position player. Higgy's that guy. Higgy's that guy that you're like, okay, he's a starter, but why? Like
Gardner.
Gardner was productive.
That's different. Yeah, that's
Gardner was different. Like
Gardner
last year,
Gardner
was pretty bad. Last year, Gardner was pretty bad.
But I also don't want to see Gardner on any other team.
True, correct. He hasn't. I don't. He hasn't.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to. But I'm glad.
But there are guys that are just like you're like, how are they in the lineup? Like are they culture guys, locker room guys, like whatever? You're just like they're terrible. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. But the Yankees are rolling. It's hard to complain about the best team in baseball. Like
I'm
doing right
you'll
now,
find a way.
No, but listen, let me finish. Even what I'm doing right now is the baseball fan in me, because I have to keep the purist in me, right? I have to be able to even scrutinize my team and see them for what they are. But
they are the best team in baseball.
They're the best team in baseball. And I've been.
But man, if they lose the Orioles, Roz is fucking throwing fit. He's fit.
Is over.
The best rivalry in sports.
The Yankees are doing what they should, which is beat up on the teams that they should be beating, right? The Orioles, the Tigers, the Yankees should be able to take a 4-game set, even though that's still pretty hard. But you should be like, okay, like it's not out of this world that the Yankees take a 4-game set against the god awful Tigers. Like, you know, like they should be able to beat the Orioles for most of the games that they play. The Orioles are terrible. Like, you know, like come on now. Like, let's be honest here. Like, and they're finally doing it. They finally do it. You know,
I'm glad.
And I'm glad.
On the back of Aaron Judge.
I'm happy. And Aaron Judge is playing like the MVP. He's playing like the MVP. He's on pace to hit over 62 home runs. He's on pace to break Maris's and these guys like these records that are just been hallowed baseball records.
And he's batting a great average too. And he's batting a great average.
All of this is playing into my prediction. I feel like I said that if Judge has a great season this season, the Yankees are going to get exactly what they asked for by not paying that man.
Of course.
Because for them not paying him and him having such a great season, and all these other teams,
is not yesterday's price.
Is not yesterday's price.
I said early before the season started, I said for them not paying that man, and the Yankees are going to get exactly what they're asking for.
He's like, oh, you paid that. Oh, remember when I asked for $327? Oh, I'm asking for $350 now. Sorry.
But then the Yankees have to be disciplined. And then they're going to end up with the same cycle of terrible albatross contracts. And I love Aaron Judge, but it's the same, like the mindset and the rationale does not change, right? You go into knowing that if he doesn't take it, you know you're probably going to get the best season you ever got from him. And if you're the Yankees, you're saying, hey, man, we hope that best season is a World Series championship, and you just ride out in the sunset. You don't give him more money because that doesn't change the outcome, right? If you gave him a fair contract and you felt like that was teetering on an albatross, giving him an extra 60 to 80 million, you're guaranteeing an albatross based upon your idea of what you think it is. So why would you change it? I don't think the Yankees sign him again this year. I think they actually
don't do this to me.
They'll try. I think the Yankees will try. I think the Yankees will say, hey, we might up it a little bit, but I just don't see the Yankees going 360, 380, 390.
Aaron Judge would be doing himself a disservice if they came to the table and they're like, yeah, we'll give you what you want, and not be like, haha, nah.
I think Aaron Judge, you know who I think makes a big push? I think LA makes a big push, and I don't mean the Dodgers, I mean the Angels. I think the Angels, he's an LA guy. I think the Angels will make a huge push, and I don't think that this Madden thing is done in a vacuum. I think they're really going to try their best to make a big push for that key piece to put with Ohtani and Trout, and they're going to say, we're going to make a push for Aaron Judge.
So they can ruin more Hall of Fame careers.
So they can continue to do this.
So I love Aaron Judge. The Yankees can't do 380. If he comes and says, Roz, like I'm Cashman, he says, give me 380 for 10 years, I'm going to say no. I'd rather give you more money for less years than give you 10 years for 380. Can't do it. Can't do it.
We'll see. It's all about negotiating.
Yeah. I hope they do sign him, though. I love Aaron Judge, by the way. Love him.
I do, too. All right.
Just like I love A-Rod. Can't do it.
Yeah, you did love A-Rod.
And
I also loved A-Rod.
But to be fair, right, Mike, did I not tell you that contract that he signed was like...
I told you that contract he signed was horrendous.
But I also told you that contract was not good. When they read up again, after he got out that Texas deal that he had, I was there with you saying, was I not saying that
he signed back-to-back $200 million contracts?
Yes.
It was like 10 years, 275.
That they're going to regret that, Mike? Did I not say they're going to regret that?
Yes.
I think they're going to regret this. They're going to immediately regret this.
There's a question. What 10-year contracts actually work that well in baseball?
None of them.
Literally none of them.
Didn't Robinson Cano just got waived?
None of them. The Mets are still paying him.
None of them.
The problem is they don't get their 10-year contracts until they're 30.
Exactly.
That's because baseball is a shit fucking show, man.
And that's why Juan
got his 10-year contract to go to the Angels, and he was good for 2 of them.
And that's why Juan Soto is going to make $400 million because he's 24. and his 10-year contract is literally going to be in his prime.
The problem is they're doing baseball like wrong by playing him and allowing him to reach his 180 days every fucking year, and they're letting his arbitration come early.
Yeah, but the
because they're
Nationals
not managing
just,
it right.
Yeah, the Nationals are just not a well-run organization.
They're being bad at being scumbags.
To be fair,
they did the same thing with Bryce Harper, though.
To be fair, the best return that baseball that you have of like you're like wondering like who's got the 10-year. Not many if any 10-year deals work. But the closest we got him was Max Scherzer's deal when he ended up signing with the Nationals.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty long contract. It was like 7 or 8 years. He wasn't and he earned every single penny of that, if not more. And he's going to earn right now on pace to earn every single penny that he's going to earn on the Mets, right? So I mean, even with the injuries, so it's you can get close. That's what I'm saying. Like I would rather give Judge a 7-8 year deal.
How old is Aaron right now?
30. He just turned 30.
For more money. Just give him
I'll
more
give him
money.
like 6 years. Give him like a 6-year deal.
I go 8. I go 8.
You go 8?
I think their separation was like one more year and like $20 million.
Yeah, I'll give him 8, and I'd go up to. I'd go 8. I wouldn't care.
I'm just like they should have just paid him whatever the fuck he wanted. He wanted like 327 for like 7.
I thought he didn't want like he wasn't trying to go up higher in years though.
I thought he wanted more years.
Yeah, I thought
he wanted more years.
It was a separation of both because they were lowballing him on what he wanted because I think they were only offering him like 315 or some shit like that, and he was like, "No,
I love how you said only."
Something. But they weren't lowballing him. They were doing it on top of what he was getting. So it added up to like a certain average that fell within there.
Yeah, but he wanted what he wanted.
It was shorter years, right? So I wish that the Yankees had gone higher. Because I think he could be the next captain if they were.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think. I'm like
the captain price.
Just give him. But the problem is the captain price is hey, Jeter didn't take a massive contract. Jeter took less.
Yeah,
Jeter's also not out here hitting 50 home runs.
Jeter's not, but Jeter's out here winning World Series after World Series after World Series. So
and Jeter's the GOAT. And
they're going to use that. And don't believe Cashman didn't use that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
We had the same thing with Derek. We love Derek. Derek is the guy who was a captain. He was the most beloved Yankee that we probably had.
Will ever have.
Right? But we still negotiate with him in good faith. Like,
and guess what? In the offseason, now that Derek's not an owner of the Marlins, if you don't think Cashman is not bringing Derek into that conversation, you're a crazy person. Because if anybody's going to help close that deal, it's going to be him.
And I think Derek actually comes back now and doesn't stay away because we did not sign Correa after what he said about Derek.
Yeah, and Derek Jeter just joined Twitter the other day.
Yes, he did. So.
Yes, he did. Instantly got a follow from me.
Oh, me too. My captain. It's the GOAT.
Instantly.
I think the Yankees are doing great, man. They're destroying the Twins right now, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to be the first to 40. But I do want to switch the tone just briefly and talk about this instant. It's Pride Month, and all the teams are doing the corporate thing that they do where they want to, we're in this together, and they fake act like they care when they really don't. But Tampa Bay decided that they were going to put a rainbow, their logo. I don't know if you've ever seen the Rays logo. It's like a star, basically.
Yeah.
And rainbow colors. That's it. It was a patch that was going to go on the jersey. That's it. And there were several. I don't want to over.
It was like 4.
I'm reading it right now. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, it's more. Oh, 6.
Six players decided that they refused. Not even decided. They refused to wear the patch, and they picked one representative, Jason Adam, to speak for them after the game, and they said it was a faith-based decision for many of them. Now, the Rays gave out their corporate answer. First and foremost, this organization has done a really good thing to have Pride Night supporting our gay community to come out and have a nice night at the ballpark. Their manager, Kevin Cash, said that we had conversations with the players and we want to support the players that choose to wear or choose not to wear. The representative that they picked said, ultimately, we all said what we want is them to know that all are welcomed and loved here. But when we put in our bodies, but when we put it on our bodies, I think a lot of guys decided that it's just a lifestyle that maybe not that they look down on anybody, it's just a different we just think differently and we just don't want to encourage it if we believe in Jesus who encouraged us to live a lifestyle that would abstain from that behavior. It's not judgmental, it's not looking down, it's just what we believe, the lifestyle he encouraged us to live.
Literally judgmental.
I
Literally
know you
judgmental.
wanted to go first, but I was gonna say
Is
I
that
don't know about y'all, but that sounds like bullshit to me.
That's
hey?
the that's the
Is
that's
that
the
the out?
epitome of towing the line to the last millimeter, and it's still a half-ass answer. And you know
That is
what?
yo.
That is a direct quote too, by the way. That was a direct
Yeah,
quote.
is that the out? Is that the way out? A way out from from
Yes, that's
cancel
the way
culture?
out. That's the
That's the
way
out.
out.
Hmm.
To get away from cancel culture, you just bring in religion, and just say, hey, you know what? After thinking about it, it just ain't aligned in what I believe in with religiously, and they can't question it.
Oh, maybe not. I can question it and I can call
Oh,
bullshit on it because that's
shit!
what it is.
Yo,
Wow.
bro,
That's
if you
it.
just don't like gay people, just say you don't like gay people. Like
Yes,
it's
that's what I'm
Exactly.
trying
okay.
to say.
It's
That's
Nah,
okay,
nah,
bro.
nah, nah. Here's my thing.
Wow, bro.
It could be it can be a legitimate thing, like because again, like I'm around religious people. My mom's super religious and whatnot. So yes, it is a thing. Depending on what faith you are and whatnot, biblical, all that stuff. But my thing is personally, it's like I kind of look at it the same way I look at politics. I worked in the IT field and I worked around a lot of conservatives, a lot of right wing people. Obviously, I don't agree with their ideals, but I still respect, you know, at the end of the day. Like, so I look at it kind of like through that lens. It's like, okay, you don't have to agree with it per se, but I feel like you can still respect it. I feel like you can still, represent it. Because again, there's a bunch of people who probably have the same faith as God, and they're still going out and, representing Pride Month, I don't know. I just think it was kind of immature. That's just my stance on
they
it
danced
It's
personally.
around
tone
it.
deaf. It's
Yeah,
literally tone deaf.
they danced around
You're
it.
out here appealing. You're trying to appeal to multiple groups of people. Like baseball is literally the most diverse sport besides soccer, like in the fucking world, right?
Hmm.
And like I'm somebody who like I think all religion's dumb. Like you can believe whatever you want to believe because there's a lot of hate that brews through it, and that's literally what it is right here. Where it's like, yeah, my religion allows me to just like not fucking deal with gay people, like whatever. And then you could get away with just saying shit like that. And there's gonna be a group of people who are like, "Yup, right there with you, brother. Fuck them." Like that's why I hate that shit. And it's tone deaf. It's stupid. Like everybody deserves equality. Everybody deserves representation because guess what? When you grow up as a minority as a whole, representation like doesn't exist. It's very hard, especially when we grew up. And then now you have a whole generation of people who are coming out, who are finally able to live in their own skins and like be comfortable. And now you have your hometown team being represented. Like, yeah, you have your majority of the organization like representing this, but now whether you know it or not, these 6 people now represent your organization and now speak for your organization, whether you say they do or not. And now you're
And
alienating a demographic.
Yeah, I just think that it's a cop out. It's basically saying, "Oh, we're doing it for a faith based reason," which for me translate is that my faith says that we don't like gay people, and if that's the case, just say you don't like gay people, right? But you're such a coward that you don't have the actual like I don't know what you want to call it, but I'll just say courage to just come out and say we don't like gay people, and here's why, right? And if that's the reason why you don't like gay people, then I mean, like, listen, live your truth. But
There's no way they'd be able to say that though.
don't. But listen. But you see that. But you see that. That's because right?
Disingenuous.
That's because that's disingenuous, because now you're worried about your image, but your image and what you really stand for is I don't like gay people, right?
Go out
So
there on the
here,
podium, hit him with the fuck him.
right,
That's literally, you might as well have just did that.
right, because you're going to now hide behind the shield of religion and say, well, it's not me, it's my faith, but you follow the faith, and the reason why you're not doing it is because of the faith. So now are you saying that your faith isn't worth you standing up for it? Right? So you're saying like, hey, listen, like I don't like, I'm not going to wear anything that encourages people or has me represent that I'm for LGBTQ rights, and I'm going to say it's because this is what I believe in. You're literally saying this is what I believe in by saying this is a faith-based decision. If you believe that being homosexual or even identifying with this group of people is wrong, just outright say that, right? Don't just say, oh, this is a faith-based decision. What does that even mean, right? Like, what does that even mean? That means I don't like these groups of people or identify or even want to support them because this is what I believe in. And what you believe in is your faith, right? Like the dancing around with the PR stuff, I know that's their job, but it's just like, you know, if the Rays can't come through their dugout and say, hey, we're going to do this as an organization, and, you know, like this is something that you need to do, right? Then that's fine. But guess what? What Major League Baseball does is they tell everyone, hey, on Jackie Robinson Day, you need to acknowledge the fact that Jackie Robinson was a minority and the impact that he made. So you're going to wear the number 42, whether you believe or don't like black people, regardless. So I don't believe that that's garbage. You know, like I don't believe that all of a sudden like the Rays are just like, oh, well, we're gonna give everybody like their chance to stand and make a stand and be themselves. No, if you can enforce Jackie Robinson Day, Major League Baseball can enforce some way of having some recognition of these
Pride
groups of
Day.
people who have been marginalized, and they didn't do that. And I don't understand why Major League Baseball continues to just do that to themselves. These are self-inflicted wounds. These are self-inflicted wounds. The fact that you got to go to Toronto and 8 of your players can't go play in Toronto because they don't want to get a shot. Fine, I don't want you to put something in my body. I don't want any stuff like that. But then turn around and tell people, hey, if you can't pass this physical, you can't play on the team. Right? What is it? Right? Like, what is it? Like, is it part of being a baseball player and passing your physical? If
Bro,
not,
just cooking. I
you know
love
what I'm
it.
saying? Exactly. What is it? Like,
Word.
you're picking and choosing, right? You're picking and
It's
choosing, and
marginalizing the game. It's
yeah,
preventing the game from growing
yes,
and creating an audience
yes,
and
and then
bringing
by
people
war,
in, because there's going to be some young kid who's struggling to find themselves and is going to walk into a Rays game one day during Pride Month and feel at home because feel like they're being represented, but then you're just like, hey, why aren't they wearing it?
yeah.
Yeah, everyone else is, but
Mhm.
why aren't they doing it?
Hmm.
Like,
But you know what?
this is wrong.
Baseball has a history of bigotry. It's been there since the beginning, and it's
I
not
mean,
so
yeah.
far away from. I remember. I can recall it. I think it was some. I forgot what. I can't forgot what player it was, but I vividly remember. Like, you know, I forgot what player it was. I think it was in like the Houston Astros dugout. He was facing a pitcher, and I think he was of like Asian descent, and he came in the dugout and he pulled his eyes back to make it slanted, and it was just like, what the fuck was that for? Like, what was that about? And then he comes out and everybody calls him out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done something like that." But what? Why the fuck are you doing that anyway? What does that bring to the game? What does that bring to the game? Like, what is Josh Donaldson sliding into Tim Anderson? Call, hey Jackie, what the fuck does that bring to the game, Josh Donaldson? We know what it brings to the
How
game.
how is it
He
funny?
knows.
Hey,
How
who
is it
told you that
funny?
was funny?
How does it move the game forward? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does it move? Like, you know, so here's the thing, like Dylan said, there's going to be a kid, and unfortunately, what has happened in the NFL, what has happened now, like, you know, like what's going to probably have to happen in MLB is we're going to have a player who's, because they have to be good, right? They can't just be a player. They have to be a superstar. They have to be good. Like, there's always got to be some type of minority that has to be the greatest in their position to be out here. Guess what, guys? I'm also gay. Or hey, guess what? Like I'm also like from the hood or something like that. And then it's like, oh well, you know, like it is possible. Anything's possible. You tell the kids that anything is possible. Why is it impossible for you to believe that one of your great players or a great player that comes along the way can't be from this community? You're not growing the sport. It's a sad thing, man. Major League Baseball, self-inflicted wounds, man. It's a shame. Stain on the game, man. That stuff is a stain on the game.
I don't think there's much. Everybody else got anything? Your mic dropped that right there.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I only have two other things left on the docket tonight, and we don't typically like to celebrate people losing their jobs. This one was surprising, but not Joe Girardi getting fired, but Joe Madden getting fired. Somewhat shocking.
That is
somewhat
shocking
surprising.
For me. Shocking for me.
Shout out to me for picking out this picture.
That's a cool picture. Joe Cool, man. Joe Cool.
Peace out.
Joe Cool.
World Series winning manager, broke the curse for the Cubs. I think this is only his third year or fourth year with the Angels. I know he hasn't been there that long.
Yeah.
And
they started, the Angels are good this year.
Yeah,
they started out hot. They started good.
They still are good. Like their record is still good. They may be on a losing streak right now, but
12 in a row is nothing to not bat your eye at.
162 games.
I didn't say the season's over. I'm just saying that's something you do take notice. 12 games.
You don't fire your manager after what game are we in?
They have two of arguably the best players in the league on the same team, and they struggling like that. No, man. You got to go.
They went on a pretty good run, too, before that as well, too.
Yeah, and then after that, they went on another pretty good run as well. A pretty good run of L's, man. Come on, man. Like, seriously.
I mean, baseball is literally a game of it's hot and cold streaks. Like, it's fine. Like, these guys, like, and they finally have Trout and Ohtani, like, healthy at the same time. Like, it's okay. Like, you just get through it and you figure it out. It's not like it's a panic button where it's like, hey, in the NFL, we have 18 weeks to figure this out, and they just lost 7 games in a row.
But it's also expectations, too. It's the same reason why Phillies let go of their guy as well. They have championship expectations. They feel like they've
been fired. I don't think he should have been fired.
I think so.
No, you should have been fired. No, but
the thing is, the expectation for the Angels is maybe we'll play well enough to make the playoffs.
But that's
with
not
these with these elite players.
But that's not what they're looking at.
Literally, what happens the whole career of Mike Trout is literally, hey, we're gonna play so bad with arguably the greatest player in the last 20 years, 25 years, and we're just not gonna win games. It's gonna be sick, and then we're gonna blame the managers. Like it's it's not getting them help. It's a whole lot of shit to deal with it. Like Girardi, for example. Girardi doesn't sign the players on the team, right? No, Girardi got the shit end of the stick in this instance because he has to put out the product that's given to him by the GM and the ownership group. And when they struggle with defense, they bring in a guy like Nick Castellanos, who sucks on defense. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
That signing looked okay. Well, I mean,
it's like, so what are you supposed to do with this? So then it's like, all right, well, we'll get rid of Girardi, I guess.
Yeah, man.
And there's no direction.
Joe Madden is very shocking. Joe Madden's resume is pretty damn good. Joe Madden, single-handedly, I think, is the one who started that machine in Tampa to actually get better and not just be what we talk about the Oakland A's are right now, because they were the worst. I think they were like the joke franchise in all of baseball before he had that run he had with Price and all those guys in Longoria. He brought them out of the dregs, like
their farm system was unbelievable. They're able to have all these pitchers, let them go, and still poop out new pitchers.
He started that run. He started that cycle. Then he goes to the Cubs and breaks that. I mean, he broke like the fact that he won a championship with the Cubs should allow him to literally like get any job that he decides,
Any job that he wants for however long he
wants. Then he goes to the Angels and they get a coup because they signed probably one of the greater that we're seeing now, like one of the most hyped up free agents from Japan. They get him versus the Dodgers versus the Yankees, and they're all in those in Boston, and these guys are all in the pot trying to get him. He goes to the Angels, and I can't help but think that Joe Madden has a part of that, like with the pitch and trying to get him there, and I don't know, man. I just honestly think that I think the Angels should have gave him more time, but I'm also a firm believer that Joe Madden is not going to be unemployed for very long.
No,
like,
it's crazy to me that
he'll even get a commentator job. Like ESPN will pick him up, or TNT will pick him up because he's too much of a personality.
Like Joe Madden figured out how to get Ohtani to work in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
He literally figured out how to get this dude to work, as opposed to putting him on the mound full time or in the outfield. They figured out a way to make it work, where he could just do it all and implement double switches to get him into the field when he's done pitching, just so they can use his bat at the same time. Like, you lose games. Like, baseball, you don't win every game in baseball. There's 162 for a reason. And you have hot streaks, you have cold streaks. It is what it is. But, like, you ride it out. And if your expectation for the Angels was anything other than maybe they're going to make the playoffs, then you just don't know baseball.
But my thing is like, I agree with Anthony in a sense of like if they're expecting more after Ohtani's MVP season, and they have the right to want more than that, like then you fire Madden. But I'm also in agreement, with both you Dylan and both you Mike, is that like I see Joe Madden immediately jumping in the booth until the next hiring cycle for the next offseason, and he will find a job somewhere. The question is where does he want to go? And like I think honestly this might be a little bit better for him, because if like I know he's a laid back guy in LA, and that atmosphere is something that really resonates with him. But I also feel like I would love to see Joe Madden in like a front office position too. Like I feel like his type of managing isn't it probably ran its course as well too. Like so I think he has an opportunity, I think, to kind of take a step back and look at his prospects going forward. But Joe Madden's just a baseball guy, man. Like those guys stay in the sport for as long as until they want to leave. And as long as he's willing to manage, I think he'll find a job somewhere.
I feel like he should have gotten like another 30 games.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's should have got more time.
Well, the only case you can make for that is, again, they're playing a brutal division. Like at the end of the day, like every team minus the Astros sucks.
Yeah, it just feels like it was too soon to be firing a manager. So I'm saying you should have got like another 30 games, because what happens after they go on this losing streak and then they just get fucking nuclear and they just get hot?
Well, they're beating the Red Sox right now.
Well, that's not hard.
Red Sox have been rolling though.
They have been rolling, but the Red Sox also stink. So they need to.
They won 5 in a row.
I think they won 6 in a row. Actually, Boston had 6.
Is it 6 in a row?
6 in a row.
Yeah, they're above 500 now.
Oh.
Fuck them.
All day.
Man. Funny thing is, you got, I think all 4 of the teams are going to come out of the AL East. I think they're all in the playoffs.
Minus Baltimore.
Baltimore, I mean, minus Baltimore, of course.
But Tampa and Toronto.
Yeah, like
there.
They got the same record. Like Toronto's 33-22, Tampa's 32-23, Boston's 28-27.
Yeah, I didn't think Boston was going to be bad forever, but because they're going to pick it up, which they're clearly doing, and they'll do it again at the end of the season too after they hit another snag.
Yeah,
but like Boston's going to be around.
They're going to be the play-in, I think.
They'll be around. It just depends. We just need to keep up what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's not going to be hard with the games.
We just need to guarantee our spot, because we cannot afford to be in another fucking wild card game against a team like the fucking Rays or the fucking Red Sox.
Oh, the Yankees just the Yankees fare well against like the Twins and all. They do well with. Let me not say the Yankees don't win playing games, but it's
I hate
always
that
like
stupid shit.
Yankees. Like the Yankees need to have a series where they're not in the wild card and then going straight to travel right after that, like to someone's home. Like the Yankees need to host a home series. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and guess what? I'll be there. I'll go. We will be there.
You going for them tickets, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see them host, man. I need them to host like the first
Anthony,
round.
let me tell you a little secret about me and my fandom, right? If I want something, I get it. So if I want to go see my team play, I will pay to go see my team play. And I have no problem what the price is, depending on where it is.
Well,
will I spend $2,000? No. Will I spend $200? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and you only have to make a trip to Yankee Stadium, which is nearby. You don't have to go to freaking Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, that's not my problem. That sounds like a you problem.
If the Jets go to the Super Bowl, how much you paying?
I will give up my children. Like y'all know the hierarchy. That shouldn't be shocking to anybody. It's the Jets. It's my kids. It's Janice.
I thought you was gonna say you would give them Janice.
Take her too. Take them all. Take them all. I will figure that out.
I need to start a Super Bowl fund in case it happens sometime.
Yeah.
So like you have 401k, so when you turn 50, you can finally cash in on it.
I do have a 401k. It's nice.
Oh,
I know, Anthony. It's so shocking.
Well, all I will say is
my beautiful children,
our
my
wide
beautiful,
save it up for a Jets.
Top shape, Mike.
My beautiful children, my stud shortstop son, and my beautiful daughter, gone. But I get to go to the fucking Super Bowl to see the Jets. So
they better win that Super Bowl.
We move.
Giving up all that.
We move.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't let my brain do the math yet, but
I will do whatever I need to do to be there.
The Jets making the Super Bowl is going to be one of those zeitgeist moments for me, where I have to figure out where I'm at, what I'm doing, what I need. I need to assess my life in that one moment and then figure out.
Risk it all. Risk it all.
We have to have some serious conversations about stuff.
Gotta take my withdrawal from my 401k and go to the casino. Gotta figure it out. These are the things you think about. Like you got to make rash decisions.
Would you guys
scared money don't make no money?
How much would you guys pay to go to a Knicks NBA Finals game?
Well, it depends.
A closeout in Madison Square Garden.
That's the question.
Game 7 in Madison Square Garden.
If it's a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden, damn. I'll do everything I can.
Oh, now all of a sudden I'm not a psychopath.
No,
look at everybody thinking.
If they gave you the number, if they said, if you pay this number, I can guarantee you a ticket. Front on right on the court, Game 7 hosted at Madison Square Garden for the NBA Finals.
I don't need to be in front row. I don't need to be front row.
Yeah, I don't need to be front row.
Put me in the fucking nosebleeds. I don't care where the seats are. Put me in the parking lot.
Because it doesn't matter. Because once the Knicks win, you best believe I will figure out a way to get on that court. So don't you worry. It don't matter where I am. Doesn't matter where I am to start the game. I know where I'm
James Dolan, ban him.
I don't need to be courtside for that, because if I'm courtside, the first back haul if makes, I'm gonna be on the court. And be on the court and then I'm out of the game. So I don't need to be that close.
Get him.
So I don't need to be that close.
That's my hierarchy of experiences for New York. I think it's Knicks, it's Jets, Mets, Rangers, Islanders, but I think in that order of pandemonium for New York. I think
the Nets would be a freak out just because New York has been in a drought.
But I don't think the Nets. I think the Nets would celebrate in Brooklyn. I don't even.
The Nets would celebrate in Brooklyn. I think New York would celebrate, but nah. I think the Knicks, they're actually burning things. I think they're actually breaking things. I think
of course.
things. I think the Jets, they're also doing things. I think they're actually like breaking stuff.
The Jets would break New York.
Like
if the Jets ever won a Super Bowl, it would break New York.
Like
Giants would too.
The Jets, who have such a long history of not winning.
Yes,
there's a lot of Jet fans
a
that
lot
exist.
Of pent up, like New York.
The Jews on Long Island are just sitting there still waiting.
Jets fans will not be. Oh my god!
all my old Jet fan buddies that hang out at the White Castle after games that have been there for Joe Willie. Well, there'll be a lot of people in cardiac arrest. Like people will be dying.
Yeah,
because their hearts can't handle it.
Like people will actually like probably give up the ghost after that. Like the few people that would be like, you know what, I've been holding on for this long. It finally happened.
We thought Joe Willie sold his soul to never have another one.
The Knicks too.
Here we are.
The Knicks too. Like there's gonna be like I think the Knicks and the Jets are like the Giants when they won, people were happy and it was like jubilant and it was like, oh, you guys, you know, you have people telling people stuff.
That parade when they won the first time was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But with the Jets win, they'll be weeping. You won't be able to tell whether people are happy or they've just been like liberated. you won't be able to feel. You won't even
be full on ugly crying. Full on ugly crying. Like I just saw somebody just go in front of me. I'll be full on just like I just saw a dog get hit by a car. Like full on like everything you could think of, every happy thought you ever have in your life all happens at once. It'll be both my kids being born and everything all at once finally coming out at me. Full on ugly crying.
It's the Knicks. And the Knicks is the pinnacle of that. Like the Knicks are New York. Like there's one thing that all New Yorkers can agree upon is the de facto team, if you had to pick one, would be the New York Knicks. Mm-hmm. It's the heart of New York. If the Knicks win a championship,
fires everywhere.
The National Guard will have to be called in New York.
Times Square will be destroyed.
Because
Times Square will be fucking done.
Destroyed, but you'd have massive riots across all the boroughs, and you can't. The NYPD can't.
Especially Brooklyn.
That. They can't. They would have to preemptively start setting.
They would have to. They would have to be ready.
Had to. It
would be the pandemonium that happened when the Eagles won times like 10.
Times
like 5 boroughs.
Like a million.
And in Philly, they were walking around eating horse shit.
Times a million. Times a million. Times a million. Times a million. Think about all the people, because New York is the only 24-hour train system in the world.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
The trains. Who would just be running out of the trains and doing stuff on the trains.
New York Knicks fans would be attacking people that they would just be attacking people that just had jerseys on that had nothing to do with the sport.
Like, oh, you a Denver Nugget fan? Fuck you.
Yo, that is that a soccer jersey? Is that Kylie and Mbappe? Fuck out of here.
It'd be a scene out of like a movie that you've never seen before. Like I can picture it, but it's just so outrageous. It doesn't make sense to me. Like
just think of a prison break, a massive prison break of the chaos that could happen.
And all in the backdrop.
Young is not allowed. Indictment was a thing, right?
Yeah.
That whole crowd, Trae Young won't even be involved, and they're telling him he's still not allowed. A fuck Trae Young chant would break out, and they wouldn't have played the Hawks at all in this series, and a fuck Trae Young chant would have broken out.
It'd be something out of like 28 Days Later, and then you would just see like
it's a zombie apocalypse. It's literally it.
The helicopter view of like the Empire State Building, blue and orange, and just sees of people around just moving bodies, and you're just like, you know. Like it'd be national news. Yeah, man.
Hey, I mean, fantasy talk aside, I mean, the Rangers are almost there. You know,
Rangers got this is. I told people,
Mike, you get that fucking shit-eating grin off your face right now.
I didn't say anything.
You literally sat there the second he said the Rangers are almost there. You went, Fuck you.
Game
Right?
5.
Oh my
Game
god,
5 is a
like it's
must win.
disgusting.
It's
Game
the
5 is a
hate.
must win.
The cheekbones started popping out. That's how
Yeah,
hard he was
it's
smiling.
disgusting, yo. It's so bad. I cannot. To this day, I cannot believe you are a Jersey Devils fan.
Knicks,
Uh,
Jets, Mets, Rangers, and then it's like you can flip flop the Islanders and the Giants because we've seen the Giants win, so you can feel a certain way. But those teams, right? Those teams, the Yankees have to go on the bottom because we've seen it so much. They just, like if the Yankees win, we expect it.
Although it's building up.
It is
Yeah,
building up.
it's still good. It would still be pandemonium if you New York.
No, it'd be your run. It'd be a really great celebration, right? Like in 2009, it was a really great celebration, right? Because we're like, oh yeah, we finally got back.
It was relief in 2009.
Yeah, it's like this would be the same thing. Like, yo, we finally got back. We got over the hump. We reminded people who we are. So like, let's not pretend like we're not the greatest franchise in all of sports. It'd be that, but those top 4 teams, that's like exercising generations of demons, like generations of
how long's it been? How long's it been for the Knicks? Was it 49 years?
It's
50 years.
It's actually closer to the Jets. Like in
our
years.
last one was 73, right?
Yeah, it's 4 years apart.
Yeah, it's like 4 something years apart.
It's 4
Yeah,
years apart.
it's pretty rough.
Yeah, our last ring was 73, right?
Yeah. It's like
Okay, 73. Yeah.
Yep. So,
Damn.
and a lot of those teams are like the same fans. Like Knicks, Jets, Mets is like a natural trio. Like, like a lot of us on this podcast are like abnormals in like each one of our respective like groups of teams. Like, I used to get hell all the time for being a Yankees fan, a Jets fan, and the Lakers fan.
And this one. And this
It was like, how is that possible? I'm like, well, in the story, and they're like, okay, I understand how that's possible, but damn, like
the era you grew up in, it makes sense.
It just happened.
It literally just makes sense.
It just happened.
Because all those teams were good at one time.
Right, yeah. So you're Jets, Mets, right?
No, Jets, Yankees, Lakers.
Jets, Yankees, Lakers.
Yeah, literally. In that span of the year 2000, all 3 of those teams were good.
He just went New York, LA.
Like, it makes all the sense in the world.
It just happens. Stuff like that just happens, man. Like I don't know how else to describe it to people until I told the story, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I see how that happens. All right, yeah, cool, makes sense. What?
And you're an FSU fan, right?
What do you say?
You're an FSU fan too,
yes,
right?
I am.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Fan. All of it makes sense.
I'm a Florida
all around the same time, because that's when FSU was fucking good too.
Florida State fan. Misery.
Now.
Misery for me. Back and forth.
Trash.
Jameis Winston. watching him.
The only time I ever watched college football was that James Winston. That was beautiful.
Winston won.
He was nasty in that national championship game.
Madness, pandemonium.
Okay, I did watch the Vince Young years too. I did watch that.
That Vince Young haunts.
Yeah. You couldn't not watch that. Like, even someone like me who doesn't care for it, you couldn't not watch that.
Beck was at the crib.
I was about to say, fun note, I was at Roz's house watching that game.
we super young watching that, yo. I'm like, oh.
That 30 for 30 was ill.
After Texas won, because we were all young and yelling and screaming like we didn't have no sense, Roz's mother kicked us out. Kicked us out of the house. I literally got kicked out of the house.
That's right.
Now describe young. Describe young.
We're kids. We're kids.
We're kids. They
scored. That was 2005, right?
That game was 2006. What do you mean? I was
2006.
We're yelling, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" 10 minutes
I would have
later,
been 12.
I was 13.
Like 16, 17.
Yeah, we're kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 16, 17. Yeah.
Contrary to you guys' beliefs, because of the signs of the times we are in right now, being 12 and 13, you're a kid. You are a teenage kid. You are not anything else besides that. So, I mean, like, I get it. The times we're in, people jumping off the porch, much younger than that, but that don't mean that they not kids. Like they like you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I look at myself at 11, 10, 12, and 13, and I was like, yo, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was kids, like, you know, like look at the kids now. I'm like, dang, man, y'all doing non-kid stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it just be like that. Bro. I mean, like,
they don't even play Fortnite no more. They all just go straight to Call of
All
Duty
right,
now.
we can stop this old head talk. Like I just turned 28, and we're over
it's
here
not
talking like
old
we're old
head
heads.
talk. It's not
This
old
is
head
old head talk.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You
I'm
know
not there yet.
You know what
I'm approaching the age where I'm gonna pull up on the basketball court on the weekends and be like, "Yo, old head, let's run." Dreading that. That's why I hit leg day twice.
I have learned a bunch of kids doing that before.
Oh.
Mike
You
has
gotta
went to LA Fitness.
Gotta embrace it, man. You gotta embrace because it makes it brings everything full circle. Like we're talking about the Jets, like, you know, brings back some fond memories, man.
I feel old when I can sit here and be like, yo, 20 years ago I did this.
That's fire.
Mm-hmm. That's trash.
That's fire.
Because I'm slowly approaching old head territory.
That's fire.
Old head territory next 2 years.
Yo, embrace it, man. Embrace it. To be able to say you can look back 20 years is fire.
That's fire.
No.
It's fire because we're different. Like we would be different types of old heads. We're not the old heads that we grew up with. We're different types of old heads. Bro.
We're definitely different type of old heads because they were old.
Bro, we went golfing for my birthday. I went to the driving range for my birthday.
Oh yeah, the story's hilarious.
And bro, when I tell you, I went in there and I knew nothing what was going on. I just saw prices. I said, "Oh yeah, $20 for a bucket of balls, cool." It was 185 balls. They gave me 185 balls, and I've never hit a golf ball before in my fucking life. So I'm sitting there trying to teach myself how to swing. Turns out I was swinging backwards. Like, not like legitimately backwards, but like I had the wrong arm straight. I'm sitting here trying to keep both arms straight, and I turned around, I saw some old white dude drive the ball 250 yards. I'm like, that's what I'm doing wrong. 200 yards back and forth. It came to a point where I was there for an hour. I put on my watch to see how many. I burned 800 calories hitting these fucking balls. It came to a point where Janice and I were trying to play like time attack. She's like, "Hey, how many balls do you think you hit in a minute?" So I was like, "I don't know, like 15." And I'm just sitting there grabbing balls, just put them, not even standing up fully, just sitting there like, trying to get these balls into there. They're going fucking 4 feet in front of me. And I'm sitting there, "What's the time?" She's like, "You're done." And I hit 14 balls. I'm like, fuck. And when I tell you, when I left, I was hurt. Like my right bicep was fucking gone. My back was tight. We went to TJ Maxx after, and my legs were shaking. My legs were shaking while I'm pushing this fucking cart. I'm like, we need to leave. I can't be doing this.
Shout outs to Tiger Woods, man. That's all I hear.
Bro, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, shout out to fucking Arnold Palmer and Phil Mickelson and fucking Tiger Woods for just driving around casually hitting balls 300 yards and then just carrying their clubs to the next fucking hole. Like, that shit's tough. Next time I go, I'm just going to spend like $10, get the 40 balls, and keep it pushing.
Athletic.
Because, man, my back was tight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Good stuff.
So yeah, I don't have anything else. But Dylan, do you have trivia?
Nah, I got shit going on.
Well, surprise, surprise. Hit the music. James has trivia.
I told you I was coming to steal this shit.
Go ahead, man. Hell yeah, I get to participate in trivia.
There you go.
So let's flip it. Let's give James the layout.
Does James have a graphic?
No. James no
does not have a graphic.
I'll send you the graphic.
Send me a graphic to add.
Oh yeah, guys. Hello. Welcome to Breezy's Trivia.
I don't even have a thing on the bottom with that.
That's fine. This is all surprises. This is what I wanted to do. All right. This is cool, man. I got 10 questions. This is gonna be good. Yeah, 10 questions. Yeah, 10 questions. This is gonna be good.
Motherfucker wasn't playing around.
Whoever has the most at the end wins. This gives it a good even playing field, and it's a mix of sports.
Let's go.
Great. All right. It's gonna go like easier, that hard, whatever. But name this. I'm gonna give it to who wants the first question. Doesn't matter who wants it first.
Mike's up top, so go with Mike.
All right, we're gonna go down the line like how it is. It's Mike. This player is the only player with 1,000 dunks and 2,000 3-point field goals made. Who is it?
Like in career or in a season?
Career. The only player
With 1,000 dunks and 200.
and it looks like Anthony is cheating.
Hands up, Playboy. Hands up, Playboy. You got glasses.
Right?
Yeah. No, put them on. Put them back on.
Nah, I'm trying to rub my eye real quick.
Yeah.
200 is
2,000.
2,000.
oh 2,003. Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's why I was like 200 threes. I mean,
1,000 dunks.
you
and
sure there's
2,000
only one person?
one person.
All right, so 2,000 threes. Okay, well that
I'm gonna count 10 now because you keep repeating. 10. 9.
I mean there's a clock up there. You don't have to.
All right.
I don't think that Dirk has 1,000 dunks.
3, 2, 1. Need an answer.
I don't think Dirk has 1,000 dunks, so I don't know. Rasheed Wallace, I don't know.
Wrong. Dylan?
Vince Carter?
Correct.
Yeah! Let's go!
There you go. So you get to lead off this is Breezy's rules. You get to lead off this next question. There are 2 players that made the NBA Finals every season with their team from 2016 to 2019 and won Finals MVP. Name one.
You said made the finals every year with their team.
From 2016 to 2019 and won Finals MVP.
Kevin Durant.
Dang. There you go. Good job. Correct. For a bonus point, can you name the other person?
And won finals MVP?
Uh-huh.
LeBron James.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I knew that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you got 2 for, I'm gonna go on to Roz now.
Okay. All right.
Hey, you can keep going if you want, you know.
I'll say I'm flexing this trivia.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. There are only 2 Yankees players with the most home runs, but never had a home run walk-off. Name one.
Never had a home run walk off. Repeat it
Name
one more time.
There are only 2 Yankee players with the most home runs, but never had.
Like in a season?
Yep. But never had a walk-off home run. No. Career, not season.
Career. Okay. Never had a walk off. All right. So A-Rod's out. Ooh. No.
10.
Giambi?
Wrong. Roz? I'm gonna repeat the question, or you got it?
I just want to be sure. You said like they're like top home run hitters for the Yankees, but never hit ever.
Never had a walk-off home run.
But I mean, they're top home run hitters ever for the Yankees. Like, are they top 10
Yes.
or just like
Yes. They are the
Yeah,
top.
like they're the top 2?
Yes.
Oh man, can you go with Roger Maris?
Anthony?
should have went with the other guy.
Stop doing it. That's that screen glasses.
Oh man, I'm just gonna. Nah, I ain't got none.
Well, that's a shocker.
Mike.
This question is very weirdly phrased.
It's kind of vague, but like it makes sense.
Like, cause I don't. It doesn't. So here's why it doesn't make sense. You said top 2 Yankee all time. That's literally Babe Ruth or I believe Lou Gehrig. And I know for a fact that they both have walk-off home runs. So like, this doesn't make
Are
sense.
you sure?
Lou Gehrig.
The answer is correct.
Oh, I know I should have picked them.
It's Lou Gehrig and Mark Teixeira.
My other answer was going to be Matsui.
Mine was going to be the iron. Mine was going to be the Iron Horse. I was going to say that.
Now, is it that bad of a question, Mike? It's not.
Yes, you still phrased it terribly.
It was crazy weird, but I understood the
I was going to say the Iron Horse, but I was like, it's got to be between. Yeah, that's my fault.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna call this breaking news, but the inevitable has happened. Mike Trout has pulled his leg. So.
That's not.
Oh.
All right, we move.
Hope he's not on the show for too long.
I hope not even.
All right, question 4. Roz, you probably know this answer being a baseball connoisseur. Where was the baseball's first team organized?
Baseball's first ever team.
First team. Yep, organized.
You mean by organized? You mean like what was the first
Created?
team?
Yeah, created.
Okay.
First baseball team.
Don't think I actually know this answer, which is sad. First baseball team created.
Ten. Five. 2. Need an answer.
I'm gonna go with the Cubs.
Wrong. Anthony.
The hell was that?
Be laughing.
He gave you the Beavis.
You don't fucking know.
I'm gonna guess this time. I'm gonna guess this time.
Oh my god, I think he got the answer.
Did the page load up yet?
Right? 10.
The damn slow internet.
5.
Red Sox.
Wrong. Close, but wrong.
Oh.
If it gets to tell it, he's gonna ruin your life. Mike?
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. The Boston Braves.
Close, but no.
I can't.
No, actually, Mike is correct. No, he's wrong. No, he's
No,
wrong.
he's wrong.
No, he's wrong.
Who knows?
He's wrong.
Who knows?
Oh, you're
Who knows,
wrong.
guys?
You're wrong.
He's wrong.
Sorry,
He's
you're
wrong.
wrong. You're wrong.
He's wrong. It's your turn, Dylan.
I have no idea. But like, I feel like you gave me a hint when it said Red Sox, and I want to say Black Sox.
Ah,
Wrong.
No, but he has to say the whole name. The whole name
don't
is
know.
funny, though.
Yeah.
The whole name is funny because it's the Cincinnati Reds.
yeah.
I knew as soon as he said that, but it's not the Cincinnati Reds. It's the
I was thinking that, but he said Red Sox. I'm like, fuck.
Yes.
because it's the Cincinnati Red Stockings.
Yes. Now, Where was the original Cincinnati baseball team? Where do they play now?
Oh, I don't know.
This is the Cincinnati Reds play?
Yeah, where the original
The OG Cincinnati Reds.
where does the original Cincinnati baseball team play now?
This is like asking where the original Baltimore football
they
team
actually
plays.
ended up moving. Oh man.
Giving y'all some historical stuff right here.
Right. What did the Cincinnati Reds?
This should be a question for Enoch, Mr. Cincinnati Reds. You should know this.
Yeah, he fucking knows things. Let's fucking.
You're next, buddy. You're next, so you should be having this answer ready.
Yeah, this is your question.
10.
This is fun.
5. Need an answer.
I have no idea.
Oh.
Hold on, give me a second.
All right, yeah, let's
Look it
Google.
up.
Let me fucking type this question in really quick, huh?
Nah, my screen's fucked up. Hold on.
You literally laid your fucking thing down.
Yeah,
We're
because
looking
it's
at
glitching.
We're looking at your ceiling.
I know it's glitching. Hold on.
How about you pick your tablet up, man?
Yeah, we can see you fine.
We can hear you, so you can give an answer already.
Yeah, show us your face.
Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Dylan,
What's
cue
going on
the
in
Kermit the Frog typing.
Okay, so what? This one, something.
What?
oh,
What?
That's,
All right.
It was glitching. It was glitching.
You know what? What's the answer, Anthony?
I have no clue.
All right, just give us the answer, James.
Wait, no, I didn't. Did we all go?
Oh yeah. Well, none of us know.
I was just gonna take a guess.
Go ahead.
I'll take a guess. I'll take the Cardinals.
Dylan? No, nothing.
No, I don't know.
I'm gonna go Red Sox.
The Atlanta Braves.
Oh,
They
Wow.
moved to Atlanta.
okay.
All right.
Well, what about the Boston?
Yeah, they moved from Cincinnati to Boston to Milwaukee, then to Atlanta.
Yeah, currently. Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
Braves.
I have these questions are they're starting to drown out now. They're starting to run a little long. But all right. This question, you guys might know this. Whose turn is it? Mike?
Anthony.
Anthony.
It's my turn.
Oh man.
Mike, so
It's
Wait.
Anthony
Wait.
got the red.
Anthony got it wrong.
Oh, I got the. Oh, okay, I got the red. Okay.
Mike. In 1987, the NBA wanted to expand the NBA to 2017 with Minnesota, Charlotte, and Miami getting the nod. Which of these teams played their first year in the Western Conference?
What was the team?
Minnesota, Miami, and Charlotte in 1987.
Are you? I'm gonna say Charlotte, but I don't know if those are accurate years for those franchises.
Is it Miami, Minnesota, and Charlotte? Played in the Western Conference for their first.
One of those three teams, which one played their first year in the Western Conference?
Go ahead,
I
Dylan.
feel like Minnesota is too easy of the answer. But then Miami doesn't make fucking sense.
You have a 50-50 chance. You have no better odds.
Yeah, I really don't have any better odds. So we'll just go with Minnesota because it seems fucking easy.
It was Miami.
I know.
Definitely Miami.
It's definitely Miami, but like it doesn't make sense, so I don't want to say it.
They were in the Midwest Division, and that is what placed them
And they
in
are
the Western.
the farthest south you can fucking get. Southeast.
Mike,
They
you
were
got
there.
tripped up. You got tripped up because I think in your mind you thought of the Hornets in the beginning.
No,
They were in New Orleans and Charlotte and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna
I
run
got
some.
the basketball question wrong.
All right, Dylan. Oh no, it's Roz again?
Well, it was Mike.
It's Dylan's now.
This team won its last NBA playoff series in 2005, but now has a more recent playoff series win than the Sacramento Kings. Which team is that? I give you a hint. They are no longer in the NBA.
No longer. The Bobcats.
No.
So I guess it's on me. Is it the Seattle Supersonics?
It is.
With Kevin Durant.
This before 2000.
Before Kevin Durant.
Yeah. 2005. The Sonics have been out of the NBA for 13 years, and the Sacramento Kings haven't won a playoff series.
Durant came in what? 06?
07 or 08.
I was like,
I thought it was 07.
It was 08. It was Greg Oden. It was Mike Conley. It was those Ohio State guys that came
that's
in.
correct.
At the
The
same
Greg
time.
Oden draft 1-2.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And this, how perfect is this?
University
The
of Texas,
last question lands on Ross, and it's a Lakers question. Look how chronological order I put that in. Who is the Lakers' all-time leading three-point percentage shooter? Minimum 100 attempts.
Woo! Minimal 100 attempts.
I feel like I know this.
Mike?
Because this is one of those random fucking facts that I would fucking know.
Got Ron Robin. You gotta hope it gets to
Minimum 100 all-time Lakers leading field goal maker or
you. 3
percentage?
percentage.
It's right up my alley.
Of course, it has to be percentage though. That's a
Your percentage guy.
percentage. That's the kicker here. You can literally get a 3-point specialist and just have him play a few seasons.
But minimum of 100.
Yep.
He can get 100. He can get 100. I would have to say man. I
10,
feel like it'll be some
5, 2.
I swear to God, if this gets
Yeah.
to me.
I'm gonna go with Glenn Robinson.
No.
I swear to God, if this gets to me and I get this fucking thing right, I'm going to freak out.
Derek Fisher.
Wrong. Mike.
Two people that have
Stay close. He's gonna end your dreams right now. Mike is gonna kill you.
It's not. I swear, I have a random person in my mind too,
Oh my
and
God. Look
I
at
just don't
those.
think it's him. I just don't think it's him. But I'm gonna take a shot in the dark just in case I can ruin Dylan's night. I don't think it's this guy though. I really don't think.
Turn.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
5.
All right. Is it Rick Fox?
No.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
Now you can't.
Oh, you get to ask questions?
No.
Wow.
Does this guy have a ring?
It's not cool. No, you ain't. Don't answer nothing.
All right, here we go. Sasha Vujacic.
Oh, you let me down.
Who was it? Who was it?
It's Brad Monovich, man.
No.
Jordan Farmar?
It is Steve Nash.
Oh,
Dylan.
my God.
Dylan. Oh, Dylan.
I wouldn't have said Steve Nash because he played like 40 games.
Minimum 100 3-point attempts.
I was so confident that was Sasha Vujacic, the fucking machine. My next question would be like, if he has a ring, I was like, did this guy for the Nets?
All-time leader in 3-point percentage, Steve Nash.
Wow.
I don't like that stat. That stat's dumb.
Breezy
But I still won tonight.
Trivia. You did.
I still
Good
won.
music, Dylan. Dylan won Breezy's trivia on a night off. Dylan's trivia. Pow.
Definitely Steve Nash.
Look at Ross.
I try to block out those specific seasons in my mind.
Hey, Mike. I think I want to take center stage next week. I think I want to do my trivia next week.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
boy.
Has Anthony gotten one right in trivia yet? He has once,
Yeah,
right?
he has. I think out of the weeks that we did it, because I think I did it for what, like 14 straight weeks or so.
Something around there.
He has, I think, 4 right out of like 60 questions.
So it only makes sense that I should host it, so it's more competitive.
Why?
No,
You've
because
never
your
won.
questions are probably fucking stupid.
You've never won. You can't play. You can't host if you've never won.
Doesn't say that in the rule book, bro.
We wrote the rule book.
Where is it?
Right
It's in
here,
your
Playboy.
contract.
Right here, Playboy.
It's in my $0 contract.
It's in your contract, yeah. The one that we're supposed to be paying you for us. Us for others are supposed to be paying Anthony.
Breaking news: the Broncos just sold.
Oh yeah, by
To
Walton family.
Walton, right?
Walton Penner.
4.5 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walmart.
Broncos just sold.
Look at all the free Walmart stuff you're gonna get.
Oh,
Don't you love the Broncos?
I have breaking news that Roz will probably get a smile out of, even though he doesn't follow the WNBA. The Sparks have fired Derek Fisher.
They did fire him. Yes.
Yeah, they did fire him.
Because he single-handedly got Candace Parker the fuck out of there.
He told Candace Parker she couldn't play anymore.
And then she goes and wins a fucking title in Chicago and fucks up everybody.
They just signed homegirl too, right?
Liz Cambage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the first game of the season, Candace Parker said, "You can't guard me." You can't.
Nah, but I do want to do the trivia next week. I will be doing trivia next week.
You gotta win. Sorry, you gotta win.
Yeah. So
we should make that a stipulation that you have to get 4 questions right in a single, or like 3 questions right in a night.
Well, too bad. I already volunteered, so too bad. All right, too late.
Just because you volunteer doesn't mean you got to get picked.
That just happened. It was a shot in the dark. I had a feeling that Dylan wasn't prepared tonight. He has a lot going on, so I was like, you know what? And Mike didn't know either. I threw this out in the middle of him saying like and subscribe. I said, "Oh no, like and subscribe. I have trivia."
I'm very upset that I got that Seattle Supersonics question wrong because I should have known better. Because I do remember the Bobcats being in some tight playoff series in fucking like 2007 with Gerald Wallace, Steven Jackson. Raymond Felton.
I actually
was
fairly confident that
Ramon Sessions.
Shout out to Ramon Sessions. Oh, I remember that name.
It's just Lil Duval.
Since we're getting breaking news, I would like to give you guys some breaking news. We have to pay homage to Aaron Donald becoming the highest paid non-QB in the history of the NFL.
Well deserved.
Was it like 3 years, 95 million, right?
Yep, 65.
He literally just got money added onto his contract. I've never seen that happen before, where they're like, instead of restructure your contract, we're just going to add money.
Shout out to Donda Sports.
Where are the Rams getting all this money? That's the real question.
Don't matter. The owner of the Rams also owns Arsenal.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
got bread.
Yeah.
Cronky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Donda Sports, man. Kanye strikes again.
Shout out to Donda Sports.
Jalen Brown just joined.
And Kyrie Irving is about to be signing with Donda Sports as well, and he's about to get his extension.
This is all being facilitated by our wonderful president of Donda Sports, Antonio Brown.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to AD.
He still quit on his team, but make sure you hit that like. There you go. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell.
I just like to point out we ended Antonio Brown's career.
I mean, yeah, I would. It's hard to argue that.
We did it.
Hard to argue that. We're gonna. Go ahead, Anthony. I'll let you go first tonight.
All right. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Follow us everywhere. This was another great episode. And we'll be back again next week for more NBA, NHL coverage and more. And yes, I will be doing my trivia next week too. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Yes. Follow me on Instagram, Enoch313, and follow me on Facebook. And y'all have a good night.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you everyone for tuning in again. We had a great pod. Energy is always high. We're all together. I hope you all enjoyed it. Definitely subscribe. Tell all your friends, families, and anyone who has ears about our podcast. And also, you can get in touch with me. Instagram is RAZIEL Raziel_BMORE. We have a lot more content coming your way. We're running the clock and doing a bunch of things. Definitely check out all of our chalk talks and everything that we have to give for you guys on Speak On It podcast. Love to see you again, and definitely take care of yourself. Be safe and be well for your families. Thanks for tuning in.
You ready, James? You just
if I was a betting man, we didn't. I'm not even gonna retort back. I feel like we didn't. I didn't pick my pick for game 3. Did I?
You did.
I did. Celtics. Yeah. All right. Celtics in 6. I'm keeping up with that because that's my prediction, and can't tell me otherwise. But like and subscribe. Shout out to all the viewers. These post game lives. I gotta get back on there, man. It's just fucking late. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's wild out there. It's the wild west in these post game lives. I gotta meet this other Celtics fan that I haven't seen. I keep hearing about. Blackheart. You should be scared. Blackheart, you should be scared. But I do have faith in your Celtics, but you should be scared. But these chalk talks are turning up, and you only got more to look forward to, and that's that. Oh, follow me on the socials at Breezy5X, Twitter, at Breezy__BILZ on Instagram. And I'm out.
You got lucky. I got a quick trigger. You almost got cut off.
Yeah, those post game lives are a wild place. It's if you ever want to see Dylan in his fucking natural habitat, just being aggressive, just yelling at people, you should probably tune into that shit because it gets rowdy. _podcast Poppy _ on all the socials. Appreciate everybody who comes and hangs out with us in the post game lives, who leaves comments, who spreads the word and talks about us. Appreciate all of you guys. You make this once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week thing all worth it when you see the stuff like that. So anybody who's ever going through anything mentally, go ahead and get some help. It's not weak. Do your thing. Life's hard, but tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Word.
Well said. I will re-echo what the team said. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Follow us on the socials, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you to the platforms putting us out there. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, StreamYard, YouTube. I think it's everybody. Twitch. Follow me on the socials, IAM_MBJ. Like the guy said, we got more content coming through. Check us out tomorrow night. I think it is. Yeah, tomorrow night for post game live. We're gonna recap what happens in the finals. We do have chalk talks still coming. We've got special guests coming, and like you said, we're here for you guys. So we appreciate the love and support. And we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to be wrapping up season 1 pretty soon. And then we'll be back for season 2 with more shenanigans and more trivia, I guess, that doesn't make any sense when the question gets asked. But
hey, if you got a problem with it, man.
Hey, man, it's his first time. Let him figure out the kinks later, man. Don't be mad you got fucking
all-time leading? Who's the all-time leading scorer when this person wears red shoes and it was 8:00 at night? Who's the all-time leading scorer?
Hey man, let's go ahead and do a 3-point stat with fucking Rasheed Wallace. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't get mad because you got dog walked.
Yeah. Dylan and Roz got answers right.
That is correct.
That is correct.
I knew the Seattle question, but it wasn't my turn.
Did you get the answer right?
I didn't get asked.
I got your question right.
Sorry.
Hey man, I'm upset that I got the basketball question wrong because I just started to jump the gun and be funny.
Mike, you could just quote Roz's good man Pringles. Sorry guys, I suck.
Sorry, guys. I suck. One of my favorite things ever. There's so many favorite moments from this ridiculous, man. This is just such a ridiculous. It's like, how does this man keep finding positions, bro? I don't get it.
I just opened the door.
I don't get it.
He's got an interview with MJ this week. He's gonna get another job, another one.
Shout out to
the most MJ hire. That's the most MJ hire of all time.
Jordan for being like the antithesis of who he was as a player. He's just absolutely dreadful as an owner. Can't.
Sorry, guys, I suck.
Oh, on a serious note, before we go, I did want to put this up. We didn't have time to get into it, but if you haven't done it,
finally
go to wearebg.org, sign that petition.
Yes.
It's wild out here.
Free Britney.
It's only been fucking 5 months.
Yeah.
Free Britney, man.
Since she's been fucking held captive in fucking Russia. Like, it's all right. Doesn't matter, I guess.
Start the pod with this picture if you can, Dylan.
Yeah, I got you.
And end it if you can, too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely end it with that. We're going to end it right now.
We'll start and end it. Keep running that, man. That's some crazy stuff.
Play the music over it, but we're out of here.